It's like a pizza crunch without the batter. It's like the wood juice without the water. You'll never get the knickers I found. What a fucking chance. Premeditated patter. Premeditated patter.
Nathaniel Collins, thank you for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast, mate.
Thank you.
How are you feeling today, mate? You looking good?
Aye, not bad. Just obviously fought 2 weeks ago. Stepped on the scales for the first time this morning. So
What are you weighing? Much have you put on?
from stepping in the ring to the now, I've only put on 3 kilo to be fair, which is very unusual for me.
3 kilo?
Aye,
I
so
seen
that's
your,
not bad.
I remember watching your stories. And I seen you, honest, because when you told me about coming on the podcast, like, listen, I've got a fight coming up, can I date after it? And about how your diet and that, I've had a few fighters on quite recently, and they say diet is the number one fucking thing, it's the weight cut.
Aye.
And I remember seeing you posting your story after telling me that, and it was like it was like an omelette, and it looked as if it had fuck all in it. It looked as if you made it like with 3 eggs, no butter, no milk, nothing, and I was like, Jesus Christ, man, that would not touch the sides. And then after your fight, I noticed I think you went to the Burger Shack, was it?
Aye,
and you had
Shake
got
Shack
2
in
burgers, 2
London.
fries. Was that all yours, I take it?
Aye.
But how did you feel after that, Scran?
Terrible to be fair. No, it's good, man. It's good. It's the hardest part. It's the dieting. So, like you said, the eggs are plain, the chicken's plain.
Oh, so can
there's
we even put
nothing-
any seasoning on the chicken?
Depends. Like the week before all the seasoning goes, you need to get rid of your salt and stuff so you're
so
not
for the weight
holding
cut, so
water
you're not
and
retaining
stuff like
all that.
that. So it just gets a bit depressing in the last week, and the Shake Shack, you go down and you're like, aye, right, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to eat that, I'm going to eat this. And then you get in through, start the first burger and you're like, nah, I'm fucked.
It pure does a number on you because your stomach's shriveled up that much. But I suppose that complements the flavour of victory, as well as if you're looking at somebody. Imagine you fucking get, no you, but I'm just thinking as a fighter, like if you go into like the Burger Shack or something, you've just been fucking leathered for it. Your jaws, you can hardly move it, mate. I was sparring. I've got a fight in 2 weeks, the 16th of September. Get your tickets now. And I was sparring yesterday, mate. Last week I went in and I patched it for like 2 weeks. I was no well, and that way I felt run down. And I just let it get the better of me, and I never went in. So like the first gym session back, the night before I went to Beijing banquet, and I got my money's worth. 2 big plates. I literally filled up a plate. My pals like that, mate, you're meant to take turns. I was walking back and couldn't see that we couldn't look commenting on it and all that. 2 plates, 2 desserts, like shite. It was brilliant, man, but I'm like, if I ate that in the house, or if I ordered that for someone, I'd feel like a scumbag. Because it's a buffet, I feel alright.
Defo.
So I went into the gym the next day and I get pieced up, man. You had to see my lip. It was like a big sausage. I don't know if you've seen it in my story. And I get the fucking heat punch staffers. But I went in yesterday and I performed a lot better. Obviously, people gave me like tips and all that kind of thing, and I followed their advice and that kind of thing. But what I know, I get my nose bust open last week, right? And I go to fucking bust one of the first digs. I took 2 good digs yesterday. And one of the first ones I took, it was in the nose and it bust my nose open. And I don't know about you, I said this to somebody else and they've never had it before. See that way, my nose feels alright, but see when I touch it, I feel as if my teeth are going to fall out.
Aye.
You ever had that, aye?
Aye.
So I says that to Big G, I was like, I feel as if I blow my nose, my teeth are going to fly out. Is that normal? Have you had that before?
Mate, I've had my nose cauterised like 4 times. See, when
had it what?
cauterised like 4 times, it's when they like burn up the blood vessels in your nose so it stops bleeding.
Oh, but is
'Cause
that
I
like an
would just-
operation?
It's like, I don't know if they do it anymore, but you go into hospital, they stick I don't even know what it is, just shut up your nose on fucking cotton buds and it just burns inside your nose.
So it stops it bleeding? Is that a thing? I didn't even know
That's
that.
a thing, aye. I needed it. I used to wake up and I'd just look down and my whole bed and everything would be covered in blood and just nosebleeds through the night. If I got too hot, nosebleeds, just mental.
But was that before boxing?
Aye, before always,
Oh,
mate.
so
It's
it was always a
been-
thing.
always a
So
thing.
did you get
But
that
then
done
when
before you became a fighter?
No, then I became
Oh.
a fighter and I couldn't breathe when I was sparring because I had that much blood coming at me.
Right,
Yeah, it was mad.
fuck's sake, that's mental. I wonder if, because I was watching that, because I know you were at it, Willie Lemond and the Ricky Burns fight the other night, and I noticed his nose was fucking gushing, I know,
Aye.
really badly, like near the kind of end of the fight, and then as you say that, I'm like, I wonder how that's no what more a kind of institution in boxing, if
Aye.
it's a thing where they're saying that if you've got to the hospital to do it, would they Would they do that procedure on somebody? I'm a boxer, I just want to stop nosebleeds, or not I'm talking about? Would they actually implement it?
Should be a thing. I used to have to lie because I got it done once. I stopped it for ages. It never thingied again. Then I'd started boxing by that time, and I used to have to go in and say, "Oh, I've still just wake up and I've got nosebleeds and that." Because I tried to get it done, and I'd said, "Oh, I got it hurt through boxing," and they were like, "Nah."
Right, I see. So maybe that's why you kind of need to be clever about it, I
Aye.
suppose. Right, I see. So do you ever get nosebleeds to this day?
I still get nosebleeds, not as bad as I used to anyway, but I think that's because I'm a wee bit better than I used to be.
Taking less punches, that'll definitely do it. So, if you can take us back to the start. Obviously, you come from Hamilton originally. What can you tell us what the circumstances are that leads a boy from Hamilton into boxing?
So I just my big cousin Ryan Collins, he was a boxer. He boxed amateur, and we went to see him one day boxing in the British Championships, and he won it. And I never cared about sport at all. Like I'm a wee bit of a weirdo. I just used to run about and climb trees and no do anything. No do anything really. Like I didn't like football that much. I played it because I like to run about, and I just played the Xbox really. So mum and dad were trying to get me into something. So we went and seen Ryan. I was like, well, that's all right. Went down to the boxing club. When I got to the boxing club, I was like, yeah, that's all right. It's nothing major. Get my first spar, and after my first spar, I actually got my nose burst, and I was like, this is class. Like, I don't know why I thought it was class, but it was just like, this is class. I just enjoyed the wee rush about it, and like try to dodge getting hit and stuff. And after that, I just started watching boxing on YouTube, highlight videos, everything, and I was like pure hooked on it. So, and then from there on, I was just boxing mad, and I just progressed from there.
Really, that's interesting. So you say for your first spar, what was it about it? What was it? Was it getting in? Because I know for me, like getting into the first spar, you've kind of felt with the nerves and that kind of thing, and it is that kind of fucks you. That there is anticipation. Then when you get in, it's like, right, I'm in the firing line now. I kind of need to swing back.
Do something.
It's the rush of that. So I suppose, had you never really experienced anything like that before? Let's say like before like boxing, had you been in much fights or that kind of thing?
Not.
Had you ever been in a fight before that?
Nah.
Never been in a fight. So your first fight was actually in a boxing ring?
Like in a boxing ring, and I never, because I was always not quiet, but I was just like the joker. So I got on with everybody. I was annoying in school. I was like one of the wee pests, but in the funny way. So it was never like, I was never fighting people. I was never bothered about it. And I was tiny, like, honestly, I was tiny in school. So nobody ever wanted to, like, I was just a liberty, I think. So,
how times have changed.
And then, mate, even now, like, I'm dead. If anybody was trying to fight me or whatever, I'd just walk away. Because I don't like fighting that much. I love boxing. I love fighting in the ring, but I just, like, confrontation's not my thing at all. I just like everything to be nice and easy and breezy. So
quite laid back.
It was always like that. So I just never had fought. So when I went to boxing, I'd never done anything even adrenaline rush kind of thing. So I was just pretty, I don't know, just chilling.
Quite mellow in that because as you say, like being an adventurer is a way, and you're kind of climbing, you're like seeing the world or the world around you. There's no much danger in that. I suppose Hamilton can be quite fucking mental, but I suppose you stay away from that. But when you're in a controlled environment, you can experience that rush where something's coming at you. There is an element of danger, whereas it might not be as dangerous as running in front of a fucking bus, depending who you're fighting. But there's that element of danger. It's controlled danger where you can go, I'm in trouble here.
Aye.
I'm talking.
It was like, I mean, I'm trying to think back. Most of my family were in the army, so we always done like rock climbing, skiing, just standard. Like I get motorbikes when I was young as well, so I did do like stuff along those lines. But to me, I never thought about it like, oh, this is a rush. It was just standard for when I was young. So when I get to boxing and I felt that again, I was like, oh, this is like that type thing. Right,
I see. You see your family, a lot of them were in the army and that kind of thing. Was that installed on you for like a childhood, that kind of regimented lifestyle and that? Was that ever forced upon you? Nah, because my mum's proper anti-establishment, anti-army. Like, is she? She's like... So which side of the family are in the army? Or the majority? So her brothers and sisters are all... My aunties and uncles were all in the army. My papa was in the army, so they are pretty like... on it. Pretty strict. Whereas my mum was polar opposite, like left house at 16, went and just done her own thing and stuff. So I see.
She was mega different. She was a lot of like, follow your own path, whatever you feel, whatever you want to do. Like, she was always like, you can be I always used to want to be an astronaut. She was like, you could be an astronaut, you could be a zoologist, you could do this, you could do that. So I had pure big things in my head. So, but the army side, on that side, I got to experience everything. So they all lived in army bases for years. So it was like, go down there, go and do whatever you would do. My uncle would take me to do all the drills and stuff, and it was good. It was a wee balance of both worlds. So,
well, that's quite interesting you say that, because see that balance, because on one side you've got the kind of regimented fitness style of things where they take you down and they like take you rock climbing, that kind of stuff, and whereas, as you say, with your mums, she encourage you to believe in yourself, that you can do it. And see the combination of the two, do you think that's what's got you to where you are?
Definitely. I had a bit more of a mindset, or a stronger mindset from early. And then that partnered with meeting Joe Senior, who's my coach, for anybody that doesn't know. He had a proper like hardened, you're the man type of like fuck everybody thing. Partnered with the already like, you can do anything you want, you can do anything, believe in yourself, blah blah blah. So I was always that, without the like wee bit of spite or wee bit of like actual belief in it. And then the both of them kind of worlds coming together just made me like, you can do it.
Go you to the patter poof of the day.
That's it, I'm here rocking it.
Here with the belts, man, here with the belts. So see if we can go back, you talk about like your first sparring session, that's when it gives you the rush, like I want to do this. Where did it go for there?
So that there was at Hamilton Boxing Club, and it was just 10 minutes from my house. So I used to walk down, do my stuff, and I'd been there for a few months, and then I had no words of fighting, no words of nothing. And some of the main guys had left and went and started their own clubs. So I was like, right, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I know I want to fight. And a few people from school at the time were at View Park in Uddingston, or just behind Uddingston. I was like, right, I know View Park's a good club. I know I want to go up there. I know I want to see what other people are doing, because at the time it was all like a kind of keep fitter thing in my boxing, with maybe 2 people that had actually boxed. So it was never going anywhere. It was never going to go anywhere. So I said to my dad, I want to go to View Park. My mum and dad both worked full-time jobs, so they were like, I can't get you to View Park type thing, so I don't know what you want me to. So I ended up used to have to walk down to the bottom of Hamilton, get a bus up to Uddingston, a bus up to View Park, and I just joined View Park for there. It was a quid a night. Mick Murphy and Lawrence Murphy had won some form of regular world title at the time, so I went there, and the training was totally different. Big massive gym. They used to drill feet work drills for the start of the night, and then you'd go in, and honestly there was about 20 boys all lined up for sparring. It was free for all. Go in, you'd maybe do a minute, 3-minute rounds, but you'd do a minute with a fresh person every minute, and just everybody was battling each other. But they were all champions at youth level and stuff, so it was like, I knew that's where I wanted to be, and I loved it there. It was one of my favourite gyms actually, like growing up. And then my mum and dad we'd been in Hamilton for a while, and it was just a bit mad, and they were like, listen, my dad grew up in Springburn, Milton, all that, and my mum grew up in Cumbernauld, so they were like, we have always wanted you to go, get a good education, don't be involved with all the bullshit that comes with being for Glasgow or Hamilton or whatever, and just go and do your thing and have the best start in life as you can get. And they moved into the West End, and then we moved into Bearsden, so that took me out of View Park. And then I had to go and find a new club, so that took a wee while as well, settling into Bearsden, getting a new club. Ended up over here at Bellahouston, and then
right in the homeland.
That's it. And then just kind of took off for there, started fighting, started finding my feet again, and then at that point I was getting matched up with like Scottish champions, 3 times British champions, blah blah blah, and I'd had like 2 fights, and which for now I'm grateful for, because it put me in right early and let me see where I was at. And then I met Joe, and then for there it was just all systems go.
So can I ask you, when you see you went to View Park, and the boys that you were training alongside, they were of a higher level. See, when you went in, were you a natural talent? Did you go in naturally gifted, or did you go in and get your ass kicked until you eventually get good?
Oh, I was terrible.
I was terrible. You're really bad.
No, I was terrible. Terrible. I think I started despite what everybody would think about boxers, like, I'm very clever, and I've always been switched on with taking stuff in, learning. I'm like a sponge, so
Right.
I used to go to boxing, I'd go home and then I'd watch hours of highlight videos, this, that and the next thing, and try and pick up different styles. My problem was I used to go home and watch Nassim Hamed with his hands down doing all that. So I'd turn up to the boxing and start. So I'd turn up to boxing, honestly, and start trying that stuff. And then they were trying to get me like, no, this is what you should be doing. So I started getting quite better at View Park I was only there for a few months. But I used to just take pasting after pasting. But I still know the boys for View Park now, and it's mental because when I see them, they're all like, I can't believe you're where you are, and every one of them's chucked it, you know. So which is a shame because they were quality boxers. But
that's interesting. That it's funny seeing you talk about like watching Nazim Hamed videos. I've done boxing for like a year when I was like 15. I trained at the Palace of Art. See, just in Bellhouston Park. That was Chris McAdams' club, and I think they've moved up to Nits Hill now. But I trained there, and I used to watch videos of Mike Tyson. In boxing, see the way he did the duck and weave. See, because Mike Tyson, a short heavyweight, he was trained to duck under the heavyweight's punch. But I was taller. I was really tall. I was probably been about no far off this height when I was like 15. So they were encouraging me to use my reach, but I wouldn't listen to them. I'd be going in and try and duck. So I'm ducking to cunts that are smaller than me and getting
into their punches.
Exactly. And they were just, I think at one point they just geed up because I just wasn't listening. And I eventually chucked it. I was like, fuck this is going nowhere. Just pure ego, as if like, I knew better. I was 15 and I knew better than these cunts that probably doing this all their life. But so would you say you put that down to the fact that you were a good student? You weren't naturally talented, but the fact you were a good student, you were able to learn and you were willing to learn is like the reason for your success as such?
For sure, it was like, goes back to the thing, like I was always timid. So, and I was always like, I don't know what it was definitely like through my upbringing and stuff, but if an adult was speaking to me, I would never talk over them but I was just like, okay, an adult speaking, listen type thing. So, and because I was always that respectful with whatever somebody was saying to me, I was taking it in. That partnered with, I loved boxing. I liked it after that. After I'd had my initial thing, I started loving it. So at that point, it was like all systems go. Whereas if I went to school, I'd still listen if an adult was talking, but then it was like, okay, cool, whatever. No, take it in as much. And so it was just one of the ones that you're tuned into what you like, isn't it?
It just became that kind of laser focus thing once you kind of found, like, right, this is what I'm into now, everything else just kind of ceased to matter as such. See, at what point did you realise, listen, I want to make a go of this? Because as you see, you were getting in and getting battered for the first part. That's enough to put most people off. What kept bringing you back?
Just the want to make something of myself and be something. And like I said, I'd seen Ryan, my big cousin, he'd went pro. He'd been doing well, and I was like, I know it's possible. And if you ever watch this, Ryan, I'm sorry, but I knew I was better than him.
Right.
Like, I knew already, like, style-wise, for watching Ryan, like, he had a major heart, major strength, but limited ability, whereas I knew I had all the ability, and it was just working on it. So when I went to Joe, he was the kind of opened the door. That was the key to open the door of, right, now I can make you something.
And what was it he done that was so different from what he'd learned before?
It was just his attitude rather than when I went to clubs before. It was all about like all the kids would come in and it was like kids, yous are doing this and blah blah blah. And it was all friendly and blah blah blah. Whereas Joe's very like, I'm not going to waste my time unless I know you're in it type thing. So you would turn up. This is how I knew I would turn up. Joe Jr. would give a doing months on end, and I'd always come back. And then because he's seen that, it was like, right, this kid's going to do something. So then there was a lot of effort and time put into me. But it was always, I got to a stage where it was like still the adult thing. He's telling me what I should be doing, this and that. And then that partnered with the fact that he didn't take any bullshit was just mad. Like, I'd never experienced anything like that before, because he was just like, this is that and this is that. And I was just like, nah, surely not. But for example, he'd do sprints on a Sunday. Sprints would be at 9 o'clock. If you went there for like 8:59, they'd leave. And like he'd done like 5 different sprints at Glasgow Green, so he could have went one way, he could have went another way. So you're turning up at like 2 minutes past 10, and they've already left. You don't know what way they've went. So I'm running around Glasgow Green trying to find where they're sprinting and stuff. They could have been anywhere, and it's like it was just like that. So all that kept me. It was a wee bit like, right, I can't be any late. Oh, I can't let them down type thing.
So do you feel that was able to instill discipline in you?
Aye, major, like, I was already pretty like on it, but then he just sent it to another level of like, can't miss a session. Honestly, I never missed a session for about 8 years. No joke. Never missed one session, because it was, he made such a big deal about it. Like, I'm coming here training yous for nothing. Like, and he was training. He never got nothing out of it. I'm training yous for nothing. I'm putting all my time into yous. I'm taking these sprints for nothing. Blah 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 blah. Just because of the love of boxing. So, like, very early I realised this guy's sacrificing a lot of his life for what? Like, for free, just so we become something. So at that point, I was like, it's disrespectful of me to miss a session. If he's turning up to the session, he's out working a full-time job, and I'm just coming to training, you know what I mean? So
it's that, developing that respect for your coach, because Joe, he was talking about it before, like, you need to respect your coach. There needs to be a mutual respect, should I say. Whereas you're looking at somebody, and it's having that mature mindset, look at somebody like, he's actually making sacrifice to do this, and which installs that discipline. Plus as well, it sets a good standard for your relationship, you and your coach, because as when you're going to fight people like now, I imagine that relationship is a big part of like when you're training now, because like what he says goes kind of thing.
That's it. Even now, like, going on for the years, like, I joined him when I was like 15, 16, so that was a heavy influence over me. As I got older, I took a lot of what he said as word, and then getting older again now, like, I start to see wee bits and bobs, so I can take everything he's saying, and then I can also add my own stuff to it and
mould it.
So, and I think he now that I'm older, he is seeing what I'm doing on the side, and he respects, right, okay, you can do this wee bit extra, you can do this wee bit here and there, in terms of adding stuff and whatnot. So we both kind of get on the same wavelength.
No, definitely. You need to be on the same wavelength. There's nothing worse if he's clashing, because end of the day, that's the person that's training you to go in to fight another man.
Aye.
So there has to be that kind of, right. And as you say, it's like that commitment thing. Like, the two of you need to be committed for both angles, and that's that. When you're looking at what you're sacrificing for his life, he's also making the same sacrifices. Because if you're looking at somebody like, mate, you're not making any sacrifices for this. Like, if somebody's getting a payoff, you can go, he's getting paid. But the fact he wasn't getting paid to start with, that's how it's probably earned your respect.
Definitely. Even now, like, I'm not making mega money. None of the boys are making mega money. For the first few years of my pro career, I made £800 to £1,000 a fight. So he was only making £100 a fight. So he's training his full time and making £100. So it wasn't as if it was worth anything to him. It wasn't as if he was doing it. He just wants to see us get to here. This is his achievement now as well, not just my achievement. That's when all's said and done, he can go, right, I've got a British Commonwealth champion. So
that's it. That's where the passion lies in it. Because see, if you've got a passion in seeing the people succeed, if it's money, then it's like you're collecting a paycheck. It kind of dilutes it and nullifies it. But see, when you've got that shared achievement as well, that creates a lot stronger bonds between you. So see, how many fights did you have as an amateur?
I think I had like 70, 75. So I had a lot at the start of my career. I was with Bellhouse and they were flinging me in every week. Honestly, I must have fought every weekend, just all over the place. Win some, lose some, didn't really matter. I went to Joe. He then started, once I started getting good enough, so I never fought for ages, I got good enough, and then I was fighting every weekend again. It was all about being active and getting involved and getting the fights in. I actually had a year break in between because I ended up having a bad car crash, and I was like, I'm just going to chuck it after this.
Really?
Funnily enough, I was like 19 or something.
Really? So what happened with the car crash?
If my missus is watching this, close your ears. So I was up car park in the sky, where like my mates, and then a few birds, as you do.
Right.
When you're a wee guy, you just start driving.
Aye.
So I was coming back, and it was like pissing of rain, dark, whatever. And I've turned right, and it was a filter light right where the police station is in Paisley, a big cross junction. So it was a filter lane. I've just turned, and the police were right behind me, and next minute I knew everything just went black, was spinning, and a taxi went right through the sides, and then the roof of the car get cut off. Everyone was getting lifted out and stuff, so it was a pretty big deal. And then the police had came, and they were like, oh, whatever, we never seen anything. And I was like, how did you not see anything? You were right behind me. And then there happened to be ambulances and stuff on scene, rapid, but they'd like there was people in the car, they'd sent them back into the car, and that's how the roof get cut off. And then she had like ruptured her spleen or whatever had happened, so she had internal bleeding. I had both my knees, couldn't walk and stuff. Like the guy in the passenger seat couldn't walk, and it was everybody had bad injuries. So after that, it was like a big court thing of whose fault was it, this, that, and the next thing. And everyone always backed me up. Oh, it wasn't his fault, wasn't my fault. I didn't ever think it was my fault, but you know that way you just feel guilty that people have been with you and that's happened to you with the driver. So mentally it sent me down a bad place, like of I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And I just chucked boxing. My knees were done anyway.
So what was it that happened to your knees?
As we get hit, like they just came up and hit the steering wheel, and I don't know, it was just a weird one. They never ever found nothing wrong with it, but I was in crutches for ages, couldn't walk properly. When it got to time back to trying to get fit, couldn't run, it was just, even now to this day, it's hard to run. Like,
oh, is it? Right, so it still affects you to this day then?
Still hard on the knees to run and stuff, so now I'm in a different mindset of like, I just kind of push through it, but it's just, I've always been a long lasting thing.
Right, I see. What is it? So how did that affect your boxing career? What was it, as you say, it put you in a bad mindset?
After that I couldn't train anyway, so I kind of just chucked it. I was going out, like just going out to gaffs and stuff, and I never ever drank anyway, and I still didn't drink after this, but I'd ended up smoking weed actually.
Right.
I never ever touched anything before, but I ended up smoking weed, ended up proper like just bad, depressed, thought like, oh, this was all my fault, all these people have had this and that happening. And then I think my mum and all that had seen, like I'm obviously a kid, so I'm like, then nobody knows I'm smoking weed, nobody knows I'm doing this and that, and I was just floating about kind of thinking I was alright. And then obviously my mum and that knew. My Uncle Stephen, the army guy, had a contact who had a ski kind of resort company in France, so he contacted me and he was like, listen, I've got a job for you. I think they just wanted me to get out and clear my head, so I ended up working in France for 6 months in a bar, just going skiing every day, working in a bar, like living life a wee bit. And I hadn't like I said, I hadn't drank, so I was just on a mad party for 6-7 months. Came back, I used to box at 56 kilo. I was 86 kilo, so I put on 20 kilo.
What the fuck, man? How did you look? Did you look quite plump?
I was like a wee fat, and I had a big beard. I was a wee fat lumberjack. So it's funny, like, and mate, France was mad, like crazy, because the guy who was army had all the army people coming out, and every 2 weeks it was fresh army people coming out, so the parties were nuts, like everything going on.
What France then? What did you get up to, just as you say, getting on it? Was it any man
I was just going just getting on it. I know, mate, it was just getting on it. Like the army people would always come, and I was working in the bar. There was 4 years. One guy get homesick and went home right away, and the bird that we were living, we moved in with the manager, they started going out, so I had a big flat to myself.
Right.
So I was just throwing parties constant. It was just a bit wild. Like the army was coming up, we just all had a big table with beer pong set up, and the bar was downstairs, so as soon as it finished, everyone would come up and go
Tonto.
aye, basically. And then the funniest thing that ever happened to me in France was a guy came in. I had a big army, like platoon or whatever it was, in the flat, and everybody was living life, and then this guy came in mad with it from the thing, and whatever had happened, we're playing beer pong, I had it off the wall and it went in, and I'm like, oh, whatever, taking the piss out of him, and he flipped the table, but he was just steaming, and I was like, what the fuck you doing, blah, 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 going off my nut. Went to go for him, and they're all like, no, calm down, they're like, oh, if you hanging with the army, everybody just jumps. Like, it will now end well for you, even though
Oh, with the
everybody
army,
was
back
pure.
up the army, basically.
Aye, basically.
Right.
Even though everybody pure liked me, nobody even liked this dude. So anyway, he's can't remember what he done. He went into we had a big long hallway with a lift down. So he went out the door and then he came back in and he launched something at me. And I was like, oh fuck this cunt. Anyway, chased him down the stairs. We're out in the snow, mate. It must have been like 2 or 3 in the morning, and we're running around the complex. Both of us pure mad with it. I'm chasing him. He gets round the corner, and then I run round the corner. I'm like, where's this dude went? I could not find him for the life of me. I'm checking all the doors into the lodges and stuff, and next day I'm walking in the bar. They've all came back in. I was like, where'd that guy go? And they're like, oh, he's afraid to come back down to the bar like this week and stuff. I'm like, nah, it was just one of the ones where I'm mad with it and all that. And I was like, where'd he go back? And they're like, he ran round the corner and he dived in the snow, and then he's pulled all the snow over him, and then apparently he just lay in the snow till he hit till I'd left.
What the fuck?
I was mate. I was like, what?
Fuck's sake, man. Cunts not
Funny.
fucking ever get fucking for us.
Mad. I know. I was thinking that mad
What a
army.
mad bastard.
Mad army things going down, man. I was like, this guy thinks he's a fucking.
I know, mate. Imagine he
Action.
fucking try to snipe you, but just
I
a
know.
snowman comes out
Funny.
and attacks you.
There was loads of stuff going on. We used to climb up to the roof and that mad with it, and people used to almost like, honestly, you could have died. Guy slid off the roof and there was like hooks on the roof and he's tried to grab it and he ripped his whole hand open and everything, and just mad stuff. Like, just one of the ones when you go away, it's like imagine it's like a guy's holiday,
Aye.
but for 6 months. It's like just stupid shit happens all the time.
Especially when you're drinking with army lads, because like, they've obviously been away. It's a strict regime and that kind of thing. So
Aye.
when they're letting their hair down, it's
Aye.
hitting their ankles, not on top of it.
The army lads know how to party.
Aye, especially because obviously you're there, you're like, ah, fuck it, just along for the ride,
that's
innit, man?
it. That's it. And then they were just seen as, we don't need to go back to our flats where all the whatever sergeants and that is. So if we can come up to your flat, then it's mayhem type
So it
thing.
worked well for the two.
Aye, so it was good experience. Got it out my system because, like I says, I never drank. That was me at 19 there. So I'd never drank properly. I'd never really done anything. So it was good to just have a proper blowout. Flew back, big fat lumberjack guy. My mum says, I think you should go contact Joe and get back in. So contacted Joe and I says, I'm back for France. Obviously my knees were still a bit dodgy, but not too bad. Can I come back to training? So comes back to training, big fat guy getting the piss ripped out of me. So that wasn't fun either.
So when did you come back for France? Was it just you only there for the 6 months, or was that the plan? or
Aye,
did you
like
just
that
go,
was like the season was
Oh, was it a
ending,
seasonal
so
thing? Right.
you could have stayed and done like they do skiing in the winter, mountain biking in the summer and that, but I was just like, I just was there for the skiing and the drinking and stuff. So I was like, I'm out, went up the road. I nearly get sent home a few times for fighting, and then, which was like I said, like I was always never fighting,
Never
never
the antagonist
thingy.
kind of thing.
And then when I went to France and started drinking, it was just pure different. So that's how I don't really like drinking now.
Aye. I suppose it gives you that kind of taste of it. As you say, you never drank before. You find that, see, for a lot of like boxers or people that play football, see, for a young age, they lead that disciplined life, but then they get to like 19, 20 and that kind of thing, and they're like, there's that fear of missing out kicks in, and a lot of them go off the fucking rails and then never fight. Like,
Aye.
you could have been a good boxer, but you end up fucking mad with it.
Happens all the time with boxing in Scotland. There's so much talent, so many people I grew up with that were beating people who are world champions or British and European champions now as professionals, and these guys have already smashed them as amateurs but chucked it because they think, oh, I'm missing out and getting a drink with my pals, who they're no your pals, they're no there.
Just bury partners.
That's it. 5 years. If you were to turn around and say, no, listen, I don't want to drink, I want to just pursue this, would they be there? Probably not.
Nah, type of cunts that probably drag you down because they're not doing it, they're not pursuing it, they're stuck there. And no offence to people that's like has a drink and that, man, there's rooms full of people like that, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree. I've probably been that person myself. I've been in both sides of that spectrum, not on top of it. So see, when you went there, you says you fell into a kind of like a bad mindset, a bad state of mind, and then you went to France for the 6 months. Did that do a lot to help that mindset you were in?
Aye, because I think I just needed to experience that. I needed to eat good food and have a drink and have a laugh and have a party. And even when I was back here, like, I'm very selective of who I've got around me as a friend because the same reason, like, people want to hang about if you're doing well and so on and so forth.
Aye.
So I was always had a really small friend group. Plus, I'm a bit of a weirdo. Like, I just like doing stupid stuff, and I would go and play basketball, or I would just go and run down the canal and do stupid stuff, and like things that people like, you're pure weird. Like, or I'll invite people over and I play board games, Monopoly and stuff. Still do it now. Like, you see on my Insta story, I just sit and do jigsaws and stuff. I'm just don't like. I don't know if it's a bit ADHD or something.
You just obviously
but you know what I mean? Like,
things,
I just like doing things. I don't like sitting not doing nothing, and people are happy to sit and just drink or eat Chinese or want to go and do the same thing every weekend. I can't work like that. So, but at that time, I needed to experience that to know that wasn't me and get it out my system type thing. So, and I was grateful because you get people that go and do it who are major talented, and then it is for them, and that's what ruins them. They never come back to boxing. Whereas I knew, that's not me. I don't care about it. That's me. Had my 6 months. Let's crack on now.
I know. At least you had 6 months in France. What, testing that lifestyle? No fucking 6 months back in fucking Hamilton. Testing that.
I don't think I'd be here if I was 6 months in Hamilton.
Doing it the fucking mega bar for 6 months.
Oh, mate, don't.
Fucking hell. So see, when you came back and then you gave Joe a phone call, was he like, as you say, you went away for the 6 months, was anybody trying to get in touch with you to bring you back or that kind of thing, or was people just kind of leaving you there?
They just left me to it. It was one of the ones, like I said about Joe, he doesn't waste his time.
Aye.
Or he doesn't, like, he values his own time, so it's not like he was like, oh, he's away to France, I'm going to chase him and get him back or anything. It was like, fair play, go and do your thing. I've spoke to Joe loads about this, but I'm a true believer in whatever is meant to happen will happen, and if it was meant to be, it'll be, and if it passes you, then it was meant to pass you. So I was always meant to go and do that, and I was always meant to come back, and that was just how it was. And he didn't need to chase me because I came back, and the first port of call was back to boxing type thing, because I had missed it, and I used to go over and I used to box and all that, and everybody in France is like, you're full of shit. Look at the state of you.
Big lumberjack.
Aye.
But so that's the thing. I heavily agree. See with the kind of what's for you want to go by you kind of thing, and plus as well, if you're chasing somebody that suggests they're trying to get away from you, it's let people go to their devices. And if you're fucking chasing somebody, I'm going back in that. It's like they're more likely, if they feel people are fucking chasing after them, they're more likely to push it away. But it's having that freedom to enjoy life.
Aye.
Talk about.
Aye, and I think if I'd never came back, it's no skin off his nose. You know what I mean? He had a guy, he put time into him. There was plenty through the years. That's what you do as a coach. At that time and place, that person might have been interested, and then something else comes up, and that's just how life works. So
that's it, man.
It just worked out how it was meant to work out.
Aye, definitely. And it was good. If I say it's good, it's like, it's the good you were able to have a break away from that lifestyle, because the minute you started it, it was just disciplined, it was regimed and that kind of thing. Having that wee taste of freedom, as you say, you realise this isn't what I'm about.
Aye.
Not what I'm talking about, but you had that kind of brief period where you could come away from it, you weren't stuck in it. Like, if you fell into that lifestyle here, it'd be very hard to escape it, because you're seeing it's so close to you, whereas in France, it's fucking so far away. You're not meeting the same people, you're not in the same environment. You know what I'm talking about?
It's not as if I'd bump into anybody from France and they'd be like, I'm on up and we'll get on it, and that. It's just like, that was like, boom, they're off skate, I'm back to reality type thing. Another thing is, drugs wasn't a thing in France. Like, they smoked a bit of hash and stuff, but it was never like, nobody took gear, nobody took nothing. I think if that had been 6 months here, who knows what could have happened, but it was never like that in France, so it was just nobody really took drugs.
That was probably handy, man, because you find, see, when you're in that experimental stage, you fucking try it, and if you're in Glasgow, mate, you're fucking trying to voice Indy on a weekly basis, know what I mean? That would have fucking ended up, I doubt the belts would be on that quite great. But did you learn any French?
I was good at French, and I see when I get steaming, I ended up pure good at French, but I don't know what it was.
If you cunts out in that street to talk French and a few other languages when they're steaming.
I done a good bit. I always said to myself, I'm going to keep learning more, because I'd already picked up a wee bit, but then I just forgot it all.
It's one of the ones, see, with languages and that, I hear, when you're speaking the language on an everyday basis, it's easier, it's more fluent.
Aye.
You need to be speaking it regularly rather than just try to learn it.
Definitely.
So see, for that full experience, see when you were going back to the gym, what was your mindset going back into the gym? Were you still that, I don't want to do this in it? Obviously a part of you still wanted to go back and do something, but was your mindset like, right, that's me, I'm getting full on into this, or were you just kind of like one day at a time?
I didn't know what I wanted actually for going back to the gym. I just knew I needed to go back to the gym because I was heavy. I felt terrible, like my body, everything. I just always felt sickly, like, you know what I mean? It was just uncomfortable to even walk about.
Course, especially if you're used to living an active lifestyle, you're going to feel fucking, it's abnormal, abnormal feeling.
I actually never even went back to fight. I just went back because I knew I needed to go back, but I never went back with the intention of fighting, or I was just see what happens with this. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my life, because I was back 20 years old. What am I doing with myself type thing. So got back. We used to run at the Duxie at where is it, like Denniston type way, Dilmarnock.
Run at the Duxie.
The Duxie, it was over at Dilmarnock. It was like that. They've took it away now. It's across from Morris Park, and it was like just a big pond really.
Right.
We used to run pursuit running. There was a slow grip and a fast grip. This was what gave me my wake up call, like, get a finger out your arse. So pursuit running, there'd be 4Es. The person at the back would run at the front, and that would keep the pace. The person at the back would run at the front, and you just kept overlapping.
Right, no, I've never heard
doing
that
laps. It was great, but I loved it. Bring it back. But so I always used to be in a fast group. I always used to be a good runner. Was always one of the best runners, and I get put in the slow group, and the thing that made me get my finger out the arse was you would do laps and laps it for 3 minutes. And I couldn't even do a lap. So never mind, I couldn't even overlap the first person in the slow group. I couldn't even do a lap of the whole pond type thing. So I was just like, mate, you need to have a serious word with yourself. You're some mess. Like, and then after that, I went like 86 kilo. I went down to 60 kilo, and that was like, right, cool. It's time to start fighting again.
Right. So what point did you decide I was going to start fighting again? What was it at that point?
Joe just said to me, like, you're some mess. You need to get all that weight off. And they changed the weight categories, so it wasn't 56 anymore, I don't think, or whatever had happened. I think somebody else was at the club at 56, so I was like, okay, I'll go to 60. So that's 26 kilos I need to get off. And I just hammered the running, like 3 months, hammered the running, hammered the training. But I would run every day, and my knees were fucked, and I used to like... So we stayed in Bearsden. I'd run down to Annie's Land, along, and then back through Mary Hill, and then I'd maybe like, mate, I was doing crazy stuff, like I'd tie ankle weights and like wear a backpack with all sorts of weights in it and stuff, and I'd get halfway and I'd be greeting and all that, and I'd
with the pain in your knees?
Pain in my knees, just for being fat. Sometimes I'd just be greeting because I was fucked, like running and greeting, man, and I'd just phone my mum, like, can you come pick me up? I'm absolutely fucked type thing. My knees are fucked, I'm fat as in it, and I can't run. And then I'd get skinnier and skinnier, and then keep doing it, and then it was still, even when I was getting down, I was like, this is horrible. Would be getting battered and sparring. I'd get into the car at night, and I'd just sit and greet for a wee bit, and then I'd just drive home, and then I eventually got down to 60 kilo. Mum says to me, like, Scottish Championship years, and she said to me, like, if you can't beat people in Scotland, just chuck it, because if you can't beat people in Scotland, how are you going to beat people worldwide? And that was just what hit me, like, and I just started battering people.
Really? So see when you went back into boxing for like your last fight, were you a new fighter?
Aye, major. Last time around, I had too much nonsense in my head. I was still good, but I wasn't as good as what I was because I didn't run as hard as I did. I didn't train as hard as I did. But see, when I had all that 20 kilo to lose, it was like, you need to live a certain lifestyle to be healthy. You need to live a certain lifestyle to lose that. So I was like a man on a mission, whole different animal that time.
A different kind of motivation. See, as well, how long did it take you to get down to the 60 kilo?
3 months.
So it sounds like a pure like, emotional transformation. As you say, you're getting home, you're getting to the gym, you're literally greeting. Like coming out the gym, you're greeting, going runs, you're wearing the weights and that kind of thing, man. It's like, do you think that experience, looking back at it now, to where you're now, do you think that benefited you in a way?
I think it just made me a bit tougher, or appreciate, like, you can't fuck about with boxing. That was it. You can't fuck about. You can't fuck about with eating. You can't mess about with the weight. You can't mess about with the training. It just isn't a game. And that made me realise, like, this isn't a game. Like, if you want to do something, you need to just switch on, you know. So it just was a newfound appreciation for the sport, and instead of like, I don't know if I changed much as a person, but in general it was just like a newfound like you need to just no take this as a joke or anything.
So just kind of like matured you as a fighter, in a sense. So where did it go for there? In terms of boxing?
I still had a bit of a confidence issue. I went to see a hypnotherapist. Lovely, amazing lady. Spoke to her about everything that I was feeling. Like, I would always go into fights and I would imagine my losing Facebook status and apologising to people that I hadn't done them proud type thing.
Really,
that always was in the back of my head. So I went and seen a hypnotherapist. She went through loads of like exercises, and I'd done hypnotherapy for a long time. And it came to the Scottish Championships year. My mum had said, like, you can't win this, just chuck it. And I hadn't done anything that much in my career. So I started in the Scottish Championships. I was unseeded, so it meant I had to fight the number 1 guy first fight. Then second fight I had to fight the number 3 guy, so on and so forth.
So wait, you said you were unseeded?
So
what does that mean?
It means like if there's 10 people in your weights, they decide who the best is, and that's number 1 seed.
Right.
So number 1 seed will fight somebody unseeded. So number 1 and 2 can't meet right away.
Right.
So they get put to other sides of the draws. So there was 1, 2, 3 and 4 opposite sides of the draws. So I wasn't seeded at all.
Right.
So I get put on the side of the draw where I fought the number 1 guy first, the number 3 guy, and then
fuck's sake.
so it was heavy, like one of the ones where at that point that could have just been mentally. If I hadn't worked on myself the way I'd worked on myself mentally, I could have just done, fuck's sake, I've just get the number 1 guy.
I'm gonna get my ass whipped.
Whereas I get the number 1 guy and I was like, brilliant, man, I'm gonna punch this cunt in type thing. So it was like, and I'll always remember it. It was in Ravenscraig Motherwell and I was warming up in the back and I just felt no nerves at all, no nerves. Like, it was like a ball of light was just in my head, like, way hanging, and I went out and I battered him, gave him to 8 counts, just big performance, because he was the number 1 guy. He'd already been sent to Australia for like training camps and stuff to get ready for the Commonwealth Games, and I just battered him, went to take his spot. Next guy, battered him, battered the next guy, and then ended up in the finals and just put on a masterclass. And everyone was like, where did that just come from? Because everybody knew I'd been about for years, but I never was any good, or never was any, like, never did anything about me.
You weren't at that high level as you did perform on that occasion. What about your coaches? What about Joe and that? Were they surprised to see that?
I don't think so. Like, he knew. It's funny because he knew I was doing like the hypnotherapy and stuff, but he was like, that's all that shite. He's old school in his ways, but he was like, oh, Joe done it and whatever. But I think he's always said it, like, if you yourself feel something's helping and that helps you, whether anybody else believes in it or not, as long as that's giving you the mental edge, that's what it is. But I always believed in it and thought it was brilliant.
So on edge as well, innit? It's like, I do believe in hypnotherapy, and it's funny they mention that because I've been looking into it a lot recently, and I hear people go to do it for smoking, people do it for like, nerves getting into a fight, athletes and that kind of thing. What kind of exercises, obviously don't want to ruin the woman's business or that kind of thing, but if you can tell us what kind of stuff did they actually drill into?
I don't know if she works anymore. I've always tried. I couldn't even remember her name. I used to try and get in contact with her, and I just cannot remember the name for the life of me. So if you ever see anything, get in contact with me.
Come hypnotise us.
She was lovely. She just done it out of her house in her front room, and you would go in and, mate, it wasn't nothing complicated. You would just sit in the chair, hands on the armrest of the chair. It was a big leather chair like that, and she would say, just sit back and then imagine a ball of lights in your feet, and then the lights coming through your body, and that's, start thinking about your losing stuff, and then as you're thinking about it, let the light wash over it, and that's you thinking about winning. Then the light comes up and it comes in front of you, and then it comes into your head, and that was it. But I'd lie there, or I'd sit in the chair, imagine all this, and then she'd not wake me up. I was present, I knew what was happening, but you couldn't move, you were just heavy. And then when it was finished, the session was, an hour had passed, you know what I mean, or 45 minutes had passed, and I was like, oofed, where did that time go? Like,
yeah, to go by and let a blink an eye.
It just went by, and it was majorly relaxing. It was just 45 minutes that you never thought of anything other than winning and getting all the bad thoughts out of you. So, and it's not as if like I learned that and I sit in the house and do it. I just done it that time. I just done it for weeks and weeks with her, and then after that, all the thoughts went away type thing. And the better you get, the more confident you get, the wins start happening, and then you don't ever think about losing after that because the confidence starts building. So,
aye, because that's fascinating. See, with the hypnotherapy, I have heard of odd people doing it. Not odd people, the odd person.
The odd person.
It's actually seen somebody like yourself, as you say, you were probably, would you say like a kind of a medium kind of base, no mediocre, but like a kind of one of the fighters you weren't really stand out at that point until you started doing it. How long did you actually do hypnotherapy for? A year, longer?
Nah, much less. I must have only done it for like 2 or 3 months. I done it
So
in the lead up.
Quite a very short.
It was a very short space of time, and I always wanted to go back and do it. It actually came down to I just couldn't afford it.
Really, was it quite expensive?
Just probably now in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't. So she gave me 8 weeks for free. The second time I went to her, so the first time we went to her, she didn't know who I was, didn't know what I was doing, blah blah blah. I went to her, then I won the Scottish, and I went back to her when I was going to go and do some international stuff, and she gave me it for free, so that was great. But the first time, I'm sure it was like 50 quid a session, and when you're a wee guy, it's
aye, when you're a wee guy, but I think about that, and I'm like, that's also not too bad.
I say I'm a wee guy, I was like 20 odds, but
aye, but at that wage, you're making a fucking like, 50 quid's a fair bit of money, especially taking a kind of risk like that. At the time, it seems a risk like hypnotherapy. It's like, you don't know, am I just paying somebody 50 quid to sit in a room?
But like I says to you earlier, it was like my mum totally believes in the spiritual, totally believes in like everything to do with vibrations, earthing, like bringing yourself to that level. So it was her that found it, it was her that thingied it. She paid for my first 2 sessions, and then when I went, had 2 sessions. 1 session was enough to sell me. Like, I was there, like,
right.
I
So
knew, like,
at what point did you realise it started working? As you say, it worked when you went into the Scottish Championship.
Scottish Championship.
So was it? Did you notice a difference before that, or was it?
Nah, because I hadn't fought before that, so I didn't know what to expect. But then when I got there, I was so calm. So, and like the whole ball of light thing was like, I never had to sit down in a chair and think about it. I just had that light in me, like.
Right, so you didn't need to sit for a minute.
It sounds stupid, like I'm just
there.
walking about, shadow boxing and stuff, and then like it's getting close to the fight happening, and then I've just felt like I was filled with a light or something. I don't know, I just felt like I filled with a light. So I don't know how to explain it. You would never be able to explain it to somebody unless they'd done it.
I know, I imagine yourself try to explain it. It's a feeling. It's a feeling more than anything, and it's like when, obviously, if you get like a hypnotherapist there, that she's able to articulate it in a way so you can understand it. But for you to understand it in a level, it's the level you understand it is much higher than the level that you can explain it, because it's something I could explain a ball of light to you, but my definition of somebody saying a ball of light travelling up, it's a different image. It's a different thing. So try to explain it. We'll try to explain it in my own filter.
It depends on it. If you believe it as well, like I would say to Joe and Joe Jr. and stuff, like, oh, this is what happened and this is what, and then it's all that shite. It's all that shite. And
I suppose that reinforced your self-belief, eh?
But it's cause like Joe had maybe Joe Jr. had went and done something similar maybe, but I know he never believed it when he went in.
Aye.
So if you don't believe it when you're going in, you're no gonna buy into it when it's happening.
Aye.
Whereas I believed it. I was like, this can change my life.
There has to be that level of belief in it, because I had a hypnotist on, Fraser Penman, and I went and done like it was like hypnotised. It was like a session. It wasn't like a hypnotherapy session, but he is a qualified hypnotherapist. But he hypnotised me in a room full of people, and that's what he says before it. He's like, you just have to believe in it. You just need to be willing, be open-minded to it.
Aye.
So if it's like anything, if you go in with a closed mind, you're more often than not you're going to leave with a closed mind.
Aye.
If you're going in shielded, and as you say with Joe Senior, the old school, they don't really believe in that kind of stuff, because it's all that kind of working class mentality. I'm not saying that's the kind of mentality he's got. It's that kind of mentality, like these spiritual stuff. If I try to hypnotise my dad, tell me to fuck off.
It's like if he said that, or you say that to your dad, being brought up in the Gorbals 50 years ago or 40 years ago, you'd get a smack in the head.
You'd get
shut the fuck up.
Hypnotised cunts, me.
Aye. So it was like, it's nothing to do with them as people or whatever. It's just your era, or where you come from, or not where you come. I don't mean when you come from, but like it's your era, what you've been brought up around, and at that time it's just like just get on with it type thing. Just get on with it.
So you see where you come from. That is a big thing. Like if you come from somewhere like India, where it's like the culture's naturally more spiritual, but if you come from like somewhere like Glasgow, where it's realistic. It's like we're a city of straight talkers. People just say it how it is. That's bullshit. That's a lot of shite. Whereas nowadays, because the world is more open to different cultures and beliefs and that kind of thing, there's pockets of it that are a bit more spiritual. I'm quite spiritual myself, but 20 years ago, kicking about Govan, would I have been spiritual? I don't think I would have been for long. You know what I mean? There's probably a few spiritual cunts out in that street that know for the old fun that I'm talking about, but that's a different kind of spiritual. We must interrupt this podcast for a breaking announcement. There has been numerous reports in the area of a beauty bomb ready to glow up. And it's going to blow away you beauty therapists one appointment at a time. Why? Do you conduct business correspondence with clients via DMs? Are you sick of late cancellations costing you money? Do you just wish you could provide your service without worrying if the client has the cash at hand?
Oh, I need to go to the bank.
Well, I have a solution to your confusion. Glow Out is a service that aims to alleviate the stress involved between a client and the technician booking their appointments. Glow Out makes it easy for clients to see appointments, to book them and to pay. It takes deposits and it gets late cancellation fees, which means you won't lose out on any money. Clients can pay by card or using Apple Pay. Glow Out is also partnered with payment processor Stripe. Glow Out also helps you manage your bookings easily by using your calendar. The busier you get, the more stressful it is to keep track of who you've actually got coming in and when. Glow Out will help you do that. On Glow Out, you'll also be able to show off your portfolio, showing off your previous work so clients can check out what you've done in the past. It will also be implementing a feature in the very, very near to be future which will connect to your Instagram profile page. You will also be featured on the Glow Out website. You'll be visible to potential clients in the local area. You'll also have access to your own admin panel where you can see your account balance, generate reports, and turn your hobby into a business. Glow Out is basically a Just Eat for beauty appointments. Can't beat the convenience, can you? The mobile app for iOS and Android is coming soon. But in the meantime, for $5.99 a month, you will have access to all these features. But if you sign up using Fivo promo code, you will get the first 3 months free. You can't lack that for a bargain, can you? Give your business the glow up it needs to blow up. And glow up before you glow out. So after your performance at like the Scottish Championships, where did your career lead to there?
So it's funny, like I always feel like everything happens for a reason, and I was meant to go through this adversity, but still they never picked me as number one to go. So if you win the Scottish, you always get sent to a tournament. It's called Belgrade Winners in Serbia. So I got to go to that, but the number one guy who I'd already battered get sent to another tournament in Poland, which was a decent tournament as well. So they were still trying to put us against each other type thing. I'd not been picked. This tournament was meant to be all brilliant and that. So I went to this tournament in Serbia. I beat like a Russian, a Kazakhstani, and then everyone was like, whoa, because they two are pretty like high in the boxing nations.
Aye.
I bet another guy, and then I lost in the final on a split decision 3-2 to GB, which everybody thought I won, but is what it is. And then I was like, right, brilliant, definitely have to have the number one spot now. He went to Poland and get dropped and knocked out, and then came back and they're like, no, you're not really getting the number one spot yet, you're still going to have to do this. So went to the GB Championships, went to the European Championships, and it was like I was performing each time. I lost in the Europeans. Again, it was just one of the ones. It was no excuses or anything, so it was just and then we came back and it was like, right, I'm meant to be going to the Commonwealth Games, and the whole time they took us out to Ukraine for a training camp type thing. They're like, oh, there's only going to be these certain spaces, so the whole time it was like, you're no gone type thing. Came back for Ukraine and I fought on like a mad random show against the army, stepped up a weight. I would basically do anything they asked me to do and fight anybody they asked me to fight so I could go, and they were always like, nah, you're not really going. And then one day get a letter through, you're going to the Commonwealth Games type thing. So I was like, pure relief, this is everything I've worked for, can't wait. Went to Australia, done my thing, and it was like one of the best experiences of my life. Won my first fight. I lost to the guy from Australia who won it. in my second fight. I always say this, I think if I had Joe in my corner, I'd have won it. I went out and I boxed the guy in the first round. I won the first round. I came back to the corner and the coaches had said to me, like, you need to get more aggressive, he's this and that, and totally changed my tactics. And I lost the next 2 rounds. I got pinged like bad, eye all swollen up, probably worst beaten. Not beaten, I never get battered, but it was just, I could have won it. I know I could have bet him if I had Joe with me, because he would have been a bit more switched on with what to do. But again, it is what it is. I enjoyed the rest of my time out in Australia. Just partying and whatever, and loads of celebrities were there because of the event. Like Usain Bolt was there.
Did you get to meet them, aye?
Aye, so there was a club that everybody went to. It was like all mostly athletes, but there's a few normal people as well. But he always getting me a pass and stuff. Like, so I'm steaming, trying to get into his booth. He was sitting there, him, another guy, and then about 40 birds, man, just pure pimped out. And I'm like, I'm getting into this booth. And I was just steaming. I was like, I'm just going to pretend I went to Glasgow Commonwealth Games because he was there. And I was like, you saying I was at Glasgow, remember me, bro? And all that. Like, try to get into the thing, pure steaming. He's like, just, who's this guy? Get him away from the rope and all that. So, that was good. And just, it was just a fun experience and stuff. But nothing that you would ever be able to replicate.
Oh, definitely no. It's the best days of your life, because a lot of people don't get to travel the world, and you're travelling the world doing your passion. Obviously, as you say, you didn't get the result you hoped for, but you still had that added experience.
Aye, absolutely. And the issue with me was, I knew I was going pro as soon as the games had finished, because there was like a politics thing with Team GB where they weren't letting Scottish people in. There was like 2 Scottish people in it, or 1 Scottish person on at a time, just because of how it is. And I knew I'm never going to get onto GB. You can't go to the Olympics if you're on GB. So I was just like, this is my last kind of hurrah as an amateur. So I knew I was going pro after it anyway. So after the thing, I was just like, no fucks given, kind of on a mad one, man. I was bringing crates of like cider and stuff into the village and that, and then just sitting on the balcony, all the Scotland boys getting tanked on the balcony.
Just getting mad.
Aye, so it was just good, funny experience. Like,
just making the most of it.
Just making the most of it.
Listen, man, I'm not going to get this moment again. So
and it was like, if they kick me off the team or I'm in trouble anyway, who cares? Because I'm not coming back type thing. So that was that. And then we came back, and Joe, me, Joe Jr. and the other guy Stuart all went to LA like 3 days after I came back. So I was 5 weeks in Australia, came back for 3 days, and then went to LA for 2 weeks, and just was causing it over there in the wild card, just battering people.
I heard you sparred with George Camboso, didn't you?
George Camboso, I sparred with him, sparred with who else did I spar that time? Like Lee Selby. I sparred a good few world champions that time, and it was like I was on top of the world for the games, so I was just putting it on people type thing, and it was good. Obviously Joe talked about it and on his podcast, but it was just different level. Like you see it in the movies, and I was in a ring upstairs, and there was like 60 people around the ring all shouting, and I'm barting this mad American guy, and he's trying to get out the ring, and they're sending him back in, shouting, he's whooping his ass, boy, and everything. Man, just mad. It was just pure different life altogether.
I know, definitely, because when he was telling me about the wild card, it's like I obviously know Freddie Roach, and I've heard that they kind of gyms, I think, is what's Mayweather's one, is it the Doghouse or the Dog Pound or something?
The Doghouse, aye.
Whereas when you get put in the ring, it's like an all-out fucking war. I didn't realise they had that in Freddie Roach's one, but when Joe said it was, he was talking about when he first kind of realised, like, this is like heavy duty in here, when they went to do the touch of the gloves at the start, and
the guy just whacked him. That happened to me as well, man.
Who done that?
Just a Filipino guy, Romero Juno, man.
Yeah.
I walked out. He was up here like smiley, friendly, and I just walked out, and he just went boof, whacked me, and I went, all right, is that how it's starting? Is it? But it was good because me and Joe are pretty much the same. Like, it's war after that, you know. So, we were just swinging people about.
Really?
Aye.
Did
people like Hoodies
as well, because that George Cambosi, he just fought, was it Devin Haney was his last fight?
Aye, fought Devin Haney and fought obviously bet Teofimo. He was undisputed, but mate, honestly, thank God I can't bet, but I was I'd have bet my house on Teofimo demolishing him, and he went and bet him, which was pure unexpected, because again, I sparred him, mate. I pinged him. He was dog shit.
Was he? Aye.
He wasn't dog shit, but he was just fit and aggressive, but he couldn't box. Like, that's how Devin Haney battered him so easy, but I could have bet anything that Teofimo would have battered him as well. It was just weird, but...
So what do you think, is that's just him as a fighter, or do you think that was maybe like a... Because as you say, he was fit, did you say? Do you think it was a
he was just
conditioning
fit.
issue, or was it a camp?
No, it was
It was just his skill set?
It was just skill set. Like, he's fit and he's strong, and that's his whole game, as like outwork you and get close to you and stuff. But if you can just ping him, then he doesn't know what to do. He was confused.
Right.
But after I sparred him, he went and done a few training camps with Manny Pacquiao in the Philippines as a sparring partner. Can't remember who Pacquiao was meant to be fighting, but that obviously brought him on a wee bit, but nothing major, you know.
How do you feel you fared against him?
It was easy.
Is it one of the exchanges? Was it yourself?
Aye.
Oh,
Mate,
aye.
it's just, I would have said that I probably never... Try to think who my hardest... Like, when I was in the Wild, we went to another gym and I sparred Lee Selby. He was a super featherweight world champion at the time. And I got 4 rounds with him or something, and he was meant to be sparring Joe. He was fighting an orthodox, but we managed to hang our way in, and I got to spar him, mate, and I was punching him about. I just thought, I'm going to do what he does. He does mad angles and good, like, hangy shots, and I swear, like, you know, that's Joe and all that. He was complaining, like, he's like, what size is his gloves, this, that, and the next time, because I was just bashing him.
Really?
So, but I always feel like the higher level I spar, the better I spar, you know what I mean? So it was like, whenever I was sparring anybody in there, like, I was just putting it on them type thing.
Aye. Because you know, when you're fighting at a higher level, you need to kind of perform, you need to up the ante, because if you're fighting somebody, you're more relaxed, whereas if you're relaxed, it doesn't bring out the best in you. There needs to be that kind of element of danger, that element of fear, whereas it can kind of help it work. And do you think that's obviously the therapy probably played a part in that as well?
Aye, and definitely with the confidence thing, like, I had came out and I was like, I'm the man, I was at the Commonwealth Games, blah, 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 blah. So I had a bit of a swagger about me at that time. Like, another boy, David Kelly, he was with us, and he was like, he's proper, like, clean living. Even the now, he drove me down to Sheffield there for sparring, he done this, he done that, he's always there with me. Like, we go and train at David Lloyd's and all that together, so he's track turn pro now. See if I have like a coffee in my sugar, he's on my case. He's like, what are you doing? You've got a British title fight coming out. Why are you putting sugar in your coffee? Or, mate, I'm not too strict with things. So he's like, what are you doing? Why are you having a cookie? What are you doing? Why are you eating a chocolate bar? And I'm like, shut up, mate, and let me live my life. Like, if I never ate this, I would probably chuck it, because I'm like depressed with eating healthy all the time. So we went over, and he couldn't believe it, because I was like getting, in the morning I'd wake up and I'd have like a gallon of chocolate milk, right? And I'd have chocolate rocks, American cereal.
And I'd camp?
Before I was going to spar these guys,
right.
I'd be like, I'd have a full like big bowl of chocolate rocks, and I'd put a gallon of chocolate milk in it and eat it. And then on the way there, I'd be eating like chocolate bars and just drinking like anything, Powerade or Coke Zero or whatever I was drinking. And then he's like, mate, you know you're sparring like world champions in a minute. And I'm like, aye, and what type thing? And I would go in and start smoking them and come out, and he's like, what is wrong with you? Like, how are you built like that? It's just, aye, because he couldn't believe it. And he's like, as soon as I eat anything terrible, I'm feel terrible and all that. And I'm like, nah, I don't care, man. So coming back between the rounds, drinking Gatorade, you know what I mean? So just different.
I suppose the Gatorade would benefit you between rounds because of the sugar and that.
Aye, probably.
But I don't know about the big bowl of rocks and the fucking chocolate milk. Do you still eat like that?
No, but it's not like, I've just got in my head, you are already as good as you are.
Right.
So if you wake up and had a bowl of whatever and then went and sparred, it's not going to affect how your skill. It might make you a bit more tired, but I'm fit anyway. I know I'm fit, so like I could eat a McDonald's and go and spar. I actually have been out of camp and ate at McDonald's, but helping somebody else and went and sparred, and I spar probably better full of McDonald's than I would spar on a diet. You know what I mean? It's just one of the ones where you're like, I feel full, I feel good, that was nice type.
Aye, because I think it probably was a lot. There's no on the heat, but a lot of it is in the heat. If I go, if I've had a McDonald's before the gym, I've just had a fucking McDonald's before the gym. Fucking hell, I'm going to feel like shite in here. And I go in and I'm like, it's that fucking McDonald's. Every rep I'm doing that I'm not getting that extra rep, that's at McDonald's. It's probably me.
You're already thinking about it.
Aye.
You're already thinking like, that's what I think. See, if you put something in your head, automatically you're going to think that.
Aye.
Whereas I'm just like, I'm starving. I'm just, oh, fuck it. I'm going to get McDonald's here. Eat my McDonald's, whatever. A few months ago, I was meant to be sparring somebody. I can't remember who it was that was coming down. And I took my pal and his wee lassie after her primary school. Went and get them a Happy Meal and that before I went to the gym. So I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm in McDonald's. Get a milkshake and a burger and that. And then I've ate that. And I'll have some nuggets as well. And then I bounced up to the gym and I done a 10 rounder. And that was sound, you know what I mean? So it's no like, I don't go and think, oh, I've just at McDonald's. I'm going to perform terrible here. I just think, I'm just sparring, and that's what it is. And I need to do 10 rounds regardless.
I suppose it's that kind of acceptance thing in it, because it is. It's just going like that, right? I'm sparring anyway. Fuck it. It's like I'm here. I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to do as best I can do. I don't know if I'm going to adopt that mentality because I'm the kind of cunt like, right, I'll go and get a fucking half pizza supper and like, curry sauce and fucking go and dry into the gym and start doing fucking plyometrics. Like, fuck that, not thought of it.
But definitely, I'm no like, I wouldn't just do it like that.
I'm an extremist, mate. It's like, you tell me, I'd go and get a munchie box and mate, I'm just a fucking animal when it comes to food. Because I don't drink or anything in that either, and it's like,
I feel like I'm bad that I've gave you this advice now. You're going to be like, no, Nathaniel told me I could.
I'm going to be
eat a
kicking about
munchie
like a
box.
fat lumberjack about the streets of Govan, fuck's sake, man. I'll be greeting when I'll be going for a run, man. But so what was your experiences like being in LA and that kind of thing? See, you went on for the high of the Commonwealth Games. See, after beating like world class athletes in sparring matches, did that put you on like a new level?
Aye, because like we were cutting about LA. And I'm just thinking like, I'm the man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And probably nobody else is thinking that about me. And I'm just on this world of my own, like, I'm doing him and I'm been to the games and this and that. And then, so obviously I'm just pure radiant confidence. And obviously Joe told the story about down on the beach, but that was a bad one to take when I was up on that. Because we were cutting about Venice Beach and like Stuart was like, oh, there was this big bit where people could set out like tight ropes, like tie them, and there was nice lassies and all that. Nah, I bet you don't go and talk to her. And I'm firing right over, chatting away and stuff. So like they're probably all just raging and that. And then I'm just jumping in and I'm, oh, geez, I shot the tight rope and that. Oh, firing in and just having a laugh. And then obviously we goes down to the pull-up bar. And that was just put me back in my place a wee bit type thing. So
bastard, man.
Aye.
That's fucking terrible.
But it was good, it was funny. At least I never get videoed.
I know. At least there was no footage. Did the bird see it though?
Aye, that was bad.
Could have at least waited till you go to a semi or something like
I
that.
know.
Fuck Joe, man, you fucked this here.
I don't know how long he was planning it. It was like these monkey bars, honest to God, they must have been about 6 foot. Now, obviously, I'm quite short, so he's like, I'll give you a boost. But he must have been planning it for ages. I'll give you a boost up, man. He's boosted me up, and as soon as I've grabbed on, he's scanted me, and I'm like, that. I was just dangling there thinking, this is quite a big drop. Do I let go, or do I just hang, or let the day? And it took me about 30 seconds before I'd actually clicked on. And then, honestly, it was like supermodels walking towards me, and they just started laughing. I just went, boof, hit the sand, man. I'm lying in the sand, sanding my arse crack, sanding my balls, like, trying to pull my shorts up. Everybody's pushing themselves. Joe Senior's trying to get his phone out, man. I'm like, oh no. What did I do here? Like, I just pulled him up, man. Just walked the opposite direction. I was like,
head down.
Waited till the birds had went.
Fuck's sake, man. That's a fucking sick.
But it's a good. I always laugh at it, man. It's a funny story. It's like a good.
Time, but you're like, no way, stand up.
Aye.
I know what I mean. Commonwealth Games, what?
Aye, definitely. Nobody's caring what I've done in the gym, man. Everybody's just laughing at me. I was like,
no caring about being a boxer. They're all caring that you're boxers.
Aye, done my ankles.
So, at what point was it after that you decided you were going to turn pro?
I already knew at that point I was turning pro.
Right.
It was just a case of going and like signing and seeing what the best deal and stuff was. And like Joe, at this point there's Ian Wilson and there's Sam at this point, and there's Alex Morrison. That's the 3 promoters in Scotland, or 3 managers in Scotland. Alex was like getting on a bit. He was old. I used to go into the gym and he'd ask me like a story, or he'd say, "Oh, you go to school with my granddaughter," or whatever, and then the next day I'd come in and he'd ask me the same thing, so I knew he was losing it a wee bit. Type thing. I mean, he's 80 odds, so I always said to Joe, like, I don't want to go with Alex. His shows were starting to deteriorate a wee bit. Like, it wasn't the same Alex that it used to be that was putting on big massive shows. So I was like, it needs to be Sam or Ian. And Joe said to me, you're better off going to Ian. I had a lot of difficulty at the start because, like I said, I always keep my circle small, decide who my pals are. So I never had a load of pals. I never really done anything out with boxing, so I never had a group of fans or a fan base. And like, I grew up in Hamilton, I moved to the West End, then I moved to Bearsden, then we moved a couple of houses in Bearsden. I'd stayed in Greenock for a bit, like I'd just been moving about, so I never had this. So Joe brought his whole life up in the Gorbals, so the whole Gorbals and everybody around them knew him, so he had a big massive fan base, easy to sell tickets, easy to worked in different jobs, so all the people for the jobs supporting them, buying tickets, whereas I couldn't sell tickets, I just couldn't do it. I just never knew anybody. I was young, none of my pals had jobs, nobody could afford a ticket, so it was like really hard at the start. So Joe took me to see the guy Ian Wilson. He had St Andrews Sporting Club, so that was more or less already sold out. I wasn't on a ticket deal as such, where like MTK and Sam and stuff, you had to sell a certain amount of tickets. Or at that time, ticket deals was a big thing. Like, you get 50% of the tickets you sell, but I'd have sold about £200 worth of tickets, you know what I mean? Like £100 a fight and stuff. So it was just one of the ones. So got a good, decent deal with Ian to begin with, and he started moving me forward. But the sacrifice of that was I was only fighting in the Radisson Blue on a Thursday night. Nobody was like coming to see. I was selling like 2 tickets to my mum and dad, or 3 tickets to my mum and my dad and my uncle, and sometimes people would come, sometimes people wouldn't, and it was a dinner suit thing, so nobody my age wants to go and buy a dinner suit and wear a fucking tux and shit.
That's a lot of money on that.
So it's like, you need to buy a dinner suit, then you need to buy £100 ticket, and then they're offering you a 5-course meal, but you just want to get on it, and everybody's full of gear, so they don't want to eat the 5-course meal, you know what I mean? So it's like, it was just a hard start. And then I'm telling these guys how good I am, and nobody wants to listen, and I'm like, I don't want to fight journeyman. I don't want to fight. I'd rather get beat and know the level I'm at than fight journeyman. And you can go back and watch any of my interviews for 6 years ago, and you'll see me saying it every interview. It was good, but I don't want to fight the journeyman anymore. It was good, don't want to fight journeyman. So I pushed for a Celtic title right early, and then Ian was like, no wanting it. Joe managed to sort it and set it up, and then right after that was COVID, so my contract with Ian was up. So it was like, right, who can offer me the best thing now? And he at the time had Cash Farouk, who was British champion as well, and he had a few other boys, so there was a lot of focus on Cash and the guy Martin Harkins or Boris the now. So I was like, right, I'm my own guy, I've achieved this, I've done this, and you want me to ride on the back of these guys? Like, I need my own route and stuff, but it was never coming. So it was like, right, I'm going to need to find something else. So I went in and I just said to him face to face, I appreciate everything you've done for me. I've got 2 weeks left of my contract. If you can't find me anything good in the next 2 weeks with a decent promoter, I'm leaving. And I says, I've spoke with Sam and I've spoke with MTK. This is what they're offering me. So I'm telling you, my cards are on the table right now. I need something along these lines, or I need to leave. And he was like, no, it'll be cool. I'll sort it. This, that, and the next thing. 2 weeks deadline came up. I was like, oh mate, I talked to Matchroom, maybe Eddie Hearn can put you on one show for a 1 fight and all that. And I'm like, mate, this is what I'm getting offered elsewhere. You're no doing it, and you're like actively no doing it for me. I just said to him, I'm letting you know at your face, I'm going to sign with Sam type thing. And I went and signed with Sam. In my first fight in 18 months after COVID and all that, I fought for the Commonwealth title, so it was the right decision.
No, definitely. Why do you think he wasn't trying to give you your own path at all? Was it Jink? It was a ticket issue? I think that was the issue?
Nah, just he, at the time it was all about cash.
So he just had that kind of
there was a
favouritism as such, not to say it to find a point, but kind of...
nothing against him. At the time, Cash they had that big fight with Lee McGregor. It was massive in Scotland. He signed with Eddie Hearn. Like, there was a lot of focus on him at the time, which is understandable because he was doing good things. So there's no, like, not as if I was like, oh, this is because of him that I wasn't getting in it. And it was just, I'm my own man, and I knew that, and I knew I would get to where I am. So I was saying to him, have cash, but sort me something as well. Like, I'm not saying, you can do both of it. Like, you can, we weren't the same weight or anything. It wasn't as if it was a clash of, like, oh, it can only be one of you. Like, he could have sorted me something as well. Like, he's used a bit of pill that he had because he was dealing with Eddie Hearn at the time because of cash. So it was easy enough to go, okay, I'll get you a free fight deal, but you need to perform for this and that. And he just never, and I gave him the opportunity. So I went with Sam and I signed with a promotion called Fight Zone, which was like quite new. And they gave me the Commonwealth title, first title. Sam, we were travelling in the car to Sheffield to meet the guy for Fight Zone. Sam says to me, listen, you've no fought in 18 months. You've never fought a 12 rounder. I'd never been past 6 rounds. And he's like, can you fight a 12 rounder for the Commonwealth? And I was like, aye, obviously. Are you off your nut? I was like, get it sorted. In the car, phoned the Commonwealth at the time and says, let's get this sorted. And then it happened. And it was probably one of my favourite fights. Like, it was in Hamilton, of all places. It was in Hamilton Aki Stadium.
Funny how that returns
mental,
back to the
mate,
moment,
mental.
Back to
Just
started.
And loads of people came out, and it was in Hamilton Aki Stadium, open air during the summer, and pure nice night. Like, just good, memorable night for me. Like, the guy that was meant to be topping the bill pulled out. I ended up topping the bill.
Really?
Won by third round knockout against a guy who was like 27-2 with 25 knockouts. You know what I mean? So it was like a big heavy. Everyone was like,
formidable opponent.
everyone was like, you're never going to win this type thing. And I was like,
Were people actually saying that to you, or was that?
It was just like,
just that was a kind of talk?
No, it was just a kind of talk because it was meant to be a big step up.
Right.
But then the guy turned up and it was terrible, so I ended up knocking him out.
It became your night, man. Fucking well in. See, it's when was the last fight before that? Did you say it was 18 months?
Aye, so I'd fought for the Celtic title in 2019, and I think that must have been 2021, so maybe even over 18 months.
So what were your thoughts getting into fight for this Commonwealth title? As you say, it was a big step up. The guy, 25 knockouts. It was a 12 rounder, and it was a big opportunity.
Nothing, I just knew I just was like, the same kind of attitude I always had, as what it is, I'm going to need to go and do 12 rounds and batter this guy. And then, like, Joe's always reassured me of how I am, like, and he says it all the time in the gym to the other boys. He's like, yous need to just look at him, he's just built different. I fought and I won the Commonwealth Games, so there's like, if anybody ever has injuries or anybody ever has illnesses and stuff, and he's like, oh, you need to look at Nathaniel, or you need to do this and that. So I fought after I won the Commonwealth in Bolton. I defended the Commonwealth, and I punched the guy. They gave me like weird gloves, like horsehair gloves. So if you've got a proper padded glove, you can't feel anything hitting you. If you've got horsehair gloves, you can feel the knuckle in the skull. And I swear to God, hit the guy with a jab. I felt my hand was broken, and then I was like, right, I'm going to use my backhand, hit the guy with a backhand, and I thought that was broken as well. Comes back to the corner, round 2. Said to Joe, both my hands are broken. And he said, well, you better go and stop him then, because if you don't, you've got 10 rounds with broken hands. And I just battered the guy, and it took me, I stopped him in the 9th, knocked him out in the 9th round, but every time I was just hitting him, and I was like, felt like greeting because my hands were that sore. They had to cut the full glove off me, and when my hands came out, it was like somebody pumped air into my hands. I looked like a balloon.
Fucking just
animal, both hands. So he always says like he's never getting an excuse, he's this and that. So it was the same then. I was like, I need to do 12 rounds, I need to batter the guy. I always think the same thing. You can't go out and speak into the world and say in front of all these people, I'm dynamite and I'm going to be a world champion, and then get beat off at anybody. But fair enough if you get to world level and you get beat off a world level guy, but you can't say I'm world level and then get beat off somebody less than world level. No, it just 100%. Doesn't work like that. So every fight I think that if I'm not getting beat by a world class guy, I shouldn't be doing it, because it goes back to the thing with my mum saying, if you can't beat people in Scotland, you're not going to beat people worldwide. If you can't beat people below world level, you're never going to be world level.
And and it goes back to that thing. It's saying it how it is. It's true, and that's what you kind of need people to be honest with you. and say, like, listen, if you want to be world level, you need to beat world level, or
Aye.
you can't be getting beat by anything less. And that's how champions are made. When you talk about, you thought both your hands were broken, it would have been so easy, and a lot of people would have been like justified in going like, listen, my hands are broken, and what they thought their hands were broken, and the fight getting stopped. But that's how champions are made, that push through that.
Aye.
Push through that pain, and you've developed your mental fortitude to a degree where you can push through that, and that's what you're going to need to fight at world level, because
100%.
you hear that in so many fights. You see it in like the UFC and that kind of thing. I remember we see when you're talking about that conversation with Joe. I don't know, do you watch much like
I
UFC,
like UFC, aye.
So see George St. Pierre, I remember that it was a clip I seen, I can't remember who he was fighting, and I think during like the end of one of the rounds, when he was back at his corner, it was like to his coach, I've torn my groin, and his coach was like, hit him with your groin, I don't care.
Aye.
And it was like, and it's quite a famous moment when, and that's George St. Pierre talks about it. He's like, you need somebody that's not going to like basically
definitely.
like give you sympathy, because that
Definitely.
sympathy's not going to keep you a champion.
Aye, for sure. I love stuff like that. And then even like it's the Leon Edwards thing there, and he's like, you got to pull yourself through the fire.
I know.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself,
Mate,
Leon.
that was amazing.
That
mate.
was like, I watch that all the time.
Aye, because it keeps popping up, because he was losing. See, he was losing the fight in everybody's eyes right to the last moment. See, I watched the fight the next day, so I kind of seen it on Facebook. I thought it had been photoshopped with Kamaru Usman knocked out. I was like, no way.
Aye, no way.
And see, if I'd have watched that fight on telly, like when it was on, I'd have probably been like, I'd have probably missed the knockout. Like, right, he's been beat. Even the commentators, like, it's funny, like his nickname is Rocky, because it was a pure Rocky-esque moment where even the commentators are like, right, he's getting bet by points, and he's just keyed up in that, then boom, fucking knocked him out. But it just shows that's what you do need. You need somebody in your corner that is gonna fucking drill it into you, and it's where that mutual respect is. Like, well, it comes from like your Joe Hammer, Leon Edwards coach, or GSP's coach. There's that mutual respect there. Like, when he says it right,
Aye.
I'm fucking taking this on board.
Definitely.
So, where did it go for you after you had your Commonwealth fight? Did you say you defended that?
Aye, so I had the Commonwealth fight. I just signed with Fight Zone, a guy we called Dennis Hobson.
Uh-huh.
And it was the first kind of sniff anybody in Scotland was getting it being with a decent promotional company, because I always say this, I've got a chip on my shoulder about it, but up here we're just totally, nobody gives a shit. And that's my honest opinion. And I've said it to people down there, I've said it to Dennis Hobson and stuff, I've said it to when I've went down and getting different treatment. I'm like, it's because we're Scottish, isn't it? And everybody's like, no, it's no because of that. But then you're like, well, these people are getting put in this hotel and we're getting put 5 mile away in a fucking travel lodge with bed bugs and shit. You know what I mean?
Does that shit actually happen with
Aye,
the Scottish
major,
fighter, right? I didn't
major.
realise it was that bad. So I do believe there is a certain fucking discrimination, but I didn't realise it stretched that far. Are they actually like the English fighters in better hotels?
I was the A fighter, right? I was the co-main event on this card in Bolton. Me, Joe, Sam, the corner team have drove down. Everybody else has been put in the Bolton Whites hotel in the stadium, brand spanking, sparkling hotel. And then we get there and like, aye, we've got no rooms left, it's overbooked and all that. Get put back 5 miles away in Bolton in a pure, honestly, the most junky bit of Bolton ever, in a travel lodge. Joe's came in like that to my room, going off his nut. I've just went in, there's a beetle running about on my bed and stuff. The guy Page was lying in his bed, and the key fob went, and my dude came into his room and he's like, oh, I thought this was my room and all that, and they both get fobs that are working for the one room and all that, and it's just, mate, mental. And it was the first night we arrived, so we just had to stay there, and it was pure shithole, and I ended up going off my nut about it, and Joe's like, you should be saying to him, and I'm like, mate, I'm gonna say to him, pure hyped up, like that. Get up to him, and he came up and shook my hand. I'm meant to be their fighter, the A-side fighter, and the guy I'm fighting staying in a pure fancy hotel, man, and I'm like, mate, this guy's just a mad guy from Africa, came over to fight, and you've got me in a fucking travel lodge. Like, I went, what's that all about? Is it because we're Scottish and that? And he's like, oh no, it's not like that. I'm like, I don't care if it's overbooked. You've got journeymen staying in here. Pap one of them out to the travel lodge. Not being a diva, but come on to fuck. I'm meant to be your fighter. And mate, it was going off my nut. And they ended up, somehow a room came free for that night. And I was like, aye, very good, convenient. But it was just mental, and I was like, happened a few times, and then even when I won the British and I knocked the guy out, it was like over a week before any of the companies get in contact in regards to like signing me or whatever, and I was like, mate, I'm not going to get signed here. I'm going to have to just keep fighting people on like shit shows to prove my worth. And it was like, it's one of the ones I can go on and on about it. I'm grateful now because I did get signed and I was recognised, but it's just...
Aye, it's the journey to it. It's like you're not getting any special treatment, and I find that I use an example all the time. See, like if you look at Josh Taylor, probably the best boxer to come out of Scotland. Like the accolades he's achieved have been fucking nothing short of impressive. The media don't bother their arse with him. It's like, imagine if he was English, he'd be fucking a superstar.
Aye.
He'd be massive, and it's like you're like, what the fuck? What do you need to do?
Guy's undisputed. Nobody and no media channels covering it in the UK for his undisputed fight. Then he becomes undisputed and he gets a wee like segment on Sky Sports News for like 2 minutes, and then it's like, oh, Josh Taylor became undisputed, by the way. And then I bought another news, Premier League and stuff, and it's like pure nobody cares at all. And you're like, this guy's one of the first to do it in the 4-belt era, like, or there's only 8 people ever doing it. The last one was 10 years ago and nobody cares about it. So it's, mate, don't get me wrong with Josh, because he wasn't getting recognition, but he was getting a tiny bit of recognition, and then like started going tits up on Twitter for him with stuff and all that, and it made it worse for himself. But before that, it still wasn't like a thing. Like people go, aye, but he made it worse for himself, nobody likes him. But it wasn't like that before that. It was a hero and stuff, you know what I mean? So
you know, 100%, man. 100%. So, and that's the thing as well, you realise when you're starting to get like media attention or attention for like south of the border as such, when you start getting called British. Have they started calling you British yet?
No.
Have they no?
No, I don't think so.
Mate, I think they did at that last fight you done.
They might have done.
I think they called you British. I mean, that fucking bastard, but it's like, you're like, right, British. That's when you know he's doing well. Or like, that's when you know he's doing well in fucking the media's eyes. British.
It's the Andy Murray thing all over again, but
it's British until you get beaten. I know, just in general, I'm not saying you know. I mean, I doubt you'll ever get beat, but it's just, that's what it is. It's like the Andy Murray effect.
Definitely. And so it's tough that way. It's tough mentally there, because you keep doing things right, you're doing everything right, beating everybody they put in front of you. You get the best belt in Britain domestically, and still people don't want to know you or see you or talk to you, or it's like, cool, we'll see what happens next to him type thing. Like Sky Sports and Boxer were like, we'll see what happens with him type thing. And then I was watching a Boxer show and there was a featherweight on it, 14-0, and I went, I'll fight him next. I text Sam texted him, and they're like, we'll see, where like a mad smiley face, like a pure cheeky smiley face. And I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll never fight in a Boxer show, wanks. And then cool, bang, Uzarovsky, nobody else interested, and it was like pure drawing blood out of a stone trying to get signed for somebody. But
because partly probably knows as well you'd probably whip him. That's probably partly.
Oh no, definitely.
They just don't want to give you that.
Aye, definitely. The thing is, like, they know that if they bring me into the stable, they have to put people against me in the stable, and I'm going to do them. So that's what it is.
You can't see the Scottish guy.
That's it.
Mass.
That's
you know
it.
I mean? So taking it back, your last fight, you won in impressive fashion. Was it 24 seconds? 24 seconds. So tell us about that. Tell us about that experience. Tell us about that fight.
It was good. Like, I've been training from. I feel like some mad stuff goes on during my camp every time. Like the last few times, obviously, Anna, my partner, was having a baby. Time before that, we were moving into a new house. All the floors were ripped up to put in new pipes and stuff, and I was staying in my mum's garage. She's got a wee garage, granny flat type thing, and I was just living out there for a month. So it was just loads of stuff's been happening. So the last time was just a pure perfect case of like not too much went down type thing, in the sense like I was very relaxed, I was very chilled. I'm a big PlayStation player, so normally I'm not allowed the PlayStation at all in the house, and Anna brought the PlayStation. She's like, right, you can have the PlayStation for a couple of weeks while you're training, because I know this is a big one for you and that. So that pure, but I needed it, because see, if I don't have something to switch me off, I'm all over the place. Like, I'm thinking, what's the boys doing at the gym? We were setting up a barber shop for the gym to get a barber in, and like I was renovating it, middle of camp type thing, and I was like, what am I doing here? And then, so I was doing online programs for people, PTing and that, so I had all this going on, and Anna was like, you need to switch off, and she's like, right, here's your PlayStation, and then I was like, yeah, right, fuck the online programs, fuck the gym, sitting there, bash the PlayStation, go and train, do my stuff, come back, rest, train, play the PlayStation. So everything went right nice and smoothly. Gets down to London, obviously I'm buzzing because it's my first one on BT Sports, and I've been shouting for the opportunity, so I was a wee bit nervous as well, because I'm telling everybody I'm shit hot, this and that, and then I'm like, oh crap, I'm on nationwide, worldwide telly, so I'm like, right, I need to actually show something. Get down, do the press conference, do the weigh-in, like, kind of won the press conference, we battle of the words and stuff, he was waffling, and I got him, and everybody started taking the piss out of him, and he became a bit of a meme, so I was like, gave me a wee bit of a boost, done it, made the weight on the Thursday, everything was cool, all the boys were down, so it was right good experience. Obviously we've been, and then there's a difference between like when you're with a promotion that know what they're doing and are mega, and the money's not an issue, because I was down, hotel rooms banging sorted, picked up for the airport, flights sorted, like everything's cool, everything's running smooth, nothing was really, there was just no stress,
no drama,
weigh-in done. Any photos and stuff was sent to you right away. Like, there was just, you didn't need to chase anybody for anything, so it was just, everything was just nice and perfect, and I thought, this is going a bit too good. Gets in, go to the venue on fight day. Like I said, I'm a sponge, and I think, see if I take information in right away, so we were about to go to the venue, so for about 3 hours I was watching like Southpaws doing different things, and like Terence Crawford, Gervonta, like, and I'm like, so it's fresh in my head, like, these are the shots that work, this is what works, blah blah blah. Gets there, the York Hall obviously is iconic, legendary boxing venue, all the balconies, people all round on the balconies, the rings right there, it's like as if the people are right on top of you, and then hundreds of people, and it was just full of jippos because Dennis McCann was fighting, so all the gypsies are going nuts, and me and him have been getting on quite well fight week and messaging and all that before the fight, so all the gypsies are like, oh, Nathaniel, get up, son. And I'm like, yeah, alright, get up. So it was good, and then gets in, mate, I swear to God, it was like 30 degrees, it was like fighting in a sauna. Gets up to the changing room's probably like, see, like a school PE changing room, but a tiny one. And then there's one toilet and one shower, and they're both in my changing room, so everybody for every other changing room's coming in ours to use the toilet and use the shower, and I'm like, what is going on here? The floor's soaking because everybody's using the shower. All my people are in there, and then it's like another guy in there sharing it, and then there just wasn't any room to move. It's roasting, 30 degrees, everything's going down, and then they're like, when you're getting ready, you're only going to get a 2-minute warning, so you need to be ready. So I knew that the guy before me would probably stop his guy, so we were already warmed up and good to go. And then don't know if you've seen my outfit, but it's a big like furry arms on the jacket, and put the mask on and that, so I'm sitting chilling. It is hot, but I'm like, it's not too hot, man. Boom, jacket goes on, I'm like, shit, we need to get to the ring rapid, man. I'm sweating buckets, pure sweat pushing down my arms and everything. I'm like, up here walking at the ring, get me in here. Zipped it down, good to go. Comes out, touched him to the body, and I was like, oh, that wee jab hurt him to the body there. And then I like bent down to throw the jab again, because I knew he would have bicked it, and when he bicked it, I just whipped a hook over the top. I felt it land clean, but I didn't think I'd chinned him. Like, I felt it land really crisp, and his head did like, mate, when you watch the video, everybody's saying that was a dive, there was no shot landed and all that, but if you watch the slow-mo, you can see, but his neck just goes like, as if his neck snapped, and then I just felt him try to hold me right away, and because when he went to hold me, I just tried to step back and pull away, and that's when he fell, and I was like, I just done like a cool walk away, like, no arse. I was like, because I was like, he's definitely going to get back up, so just make it look cool. So I walked away, turned back round. When I turned back round, he was like wobbling all over the place, he hadn't even get back up yet, and I was like, it was waved off, and I was like, oofed, didn't know how to react. And then I came back, and everyone's like, mate, blah blah blah, so everyone talking about me and like, you're the best, how was that, you must be buzzing, blah blah blah. And I was like, are you joking, mate? I've just dieted for 12 weeks, trained my arse off, I'm trying to show something on telly and I've only threw 2 punches or something. I was gutted. I was like, come on.
Fuck's sake.
Oh,
That's what
mate,
I was thinking, man,
gutted.
because I watched it in there, and it was literally, when I first seen it, I'm like, see, I think everybody was like that at first, what the fuck, but I think you're the only
what
person that
happened
would've seen
there,
it as it
aye?
happened. And then when you watch it back, you see him catch it, and I think it was just you caught him in the sweet spot.
It was just one of the perfect punches. You'll probably never land that again, or you might only ever land that once more ever in your career or whatever, but it just happened to be like he stepped in and I've whipped it at the same time, and it just the force I'm coming in at the same time, and I never even put any power into it. I just whipped it, and it was just one of them. It was just
perfect technique.
It was just really quick. I think it was just so quick, like it just caught him off guard, caught him cold, and that was it. But like even the people, my Anna and my mum and dad and that were in the front row, and they were like, we never seen it, but when he hit the ground, like they were just there face to face with him, and he's like, his eyes were gone. He just didn't know where he was or anything. And Anna says, I've never seen anybody just fall face first and like not be able to stop himself hitting his head hit the canvas and that. And I'm like,
see, I had a bit of height on you. What height was the guy?
Mate, it says on his box rec he was 5'10". He must have been about 6 foot.
He was
I
tall
kid
as
you
fuck.
not, he was
What height are
tall
you?
as fuck. Like 5'6" or 5'7".
5'6",
Aye.
because he had a good head on you.
Mate.
Because I was thinking maybe, see, you hear a lot of fighters, see, try to make the weight. They cut that much weight when they do go into the ring. They're that fucking drained. They just one hit and they're down.
Aye.
So that's possibly, I would make sense to the fact, obviously it's a great punch in that, but that's probably how when he's get back up, he's just
Aye, all over the joint. But it's, like I've seen him, he boxed on Sam's shows a lot up here. So something happened with his promoter in England and there was a big fallout. He came up to Scotland and boxed a few times. I don't even know if we've boxed on the same show or whatever. So I've met him a load of times. We've spoken that, and I never remember him being that tall, man. So I was like, this guy's not that big, blah, blah, blah. Joe sparred him and all that. And I was like, so I knew a lot about him. And then when I seen him for the second time, or when I re-seen him at the weigh-in or the press conference, I was like, this fucker's grew or something, man. He's massive. I was like, what the hell? I didn't think about it. I just was like, that's what it is, isn't it?
Aye. I know, 100%. No, but it was a spectacular way. It's like, I know, that's what I was going to ask about, see, doing that full fight camp, then get in and it ending so quick. But at the same time as well, it's a great fucking way to win. Like when you're first kind of out on like a big channel, like TNT Sports, they call it now, fuck knows why. But anyway, we all call it BT Sports, on a big channel, a big platform like that. How did, afterwards, did you get much media attention after that you were looking for?
It was like,
do you feel it's still kind of the same?
It's still kind of, it is a wee bit the same. Like I thought, like there's been people went out and had knockouts, and then like the followers jump for something to like tens of thousands or whatever, and everybody's on the hype and stuff. And that night everybody was on the hype, but then it just didn't pick up as much as I wanted it to. And I was like, if I had showed a bit of skill and had a wee bit of a longer fight, then chinned him, maybe it would be better. Like people would be like, oh, he's this, he's that. But because it happened like that, instead of it being like a brilliant thing, people like, that was a dive, much was he paid to dive, blah blah blah, rabbit punch behind the back of the head and stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
it's just it's the internet. It's what people say all the time. It's like anybody could go out, see when you win in a spectacular fashion, it's always, oh, he could have own this and that. Just cunts are working, they're cunts, that's all they are. That's all they are, man. But at least when you go into your next fight, you've got that kind of that momentum behind you. Like, this is how he won his last fight, so
definitely
that should put a spotlight on you for people to see you perform.
I'm looking forward to that.
When was it? See, why do you wear the mask? What is the meaning behind that?
It just came about a weird way. So when I turned pro, I thought, like, I don't sell any tickets, I've not got like that big a fan base. What can I do to have like a thing that people remember me about? So I was like, put something on Instagram stories, or what should my professional nickname be, blah blah blah, and a wee guy said, oh, the Nightmare. And I was like, yeah, I like that. Blah, blah. And at the time, I actually worked with Joe doing like industrial, like I was doing different things, pressure washing, window cleaning, shit like that. So he was like, you should come out with a mask and all that. And that would be cool. Come out to Friday the 13th and just something that people remember you by. And I was like, I like that, man. I think that'll be something different and cool. Nobody was ever doing that at the time. I done it a few times, and then I know obviously it wasn't because of me, but Deontay Wilder done it, and then because Deontay Wilder done it, loads of people started doing it, and I was like, Nobody came out in masks before me.
And then they'll think you're doing it because
Raging
of
about it.
Deontay Wilder.
I know, I was raging with it. And then, so it just became a thing. Like, if you go to a fight, you always remember the guy that came out with a mask. You might not remember his name, but you remember, oh, it was this guy that came out with a mask, and if he boxed well, you're like, oh, this guy boxed well, and maybe they look it up and whatever. So it was just more of like a marketing tool to get a thing. And then as it's went on, it's always been a thing. And then I started changing from, I used to do like the hockey mask to like a samurai mask. I don't know, I just like, I'm very like, I like reasons behind things. So see, like the samurai thing, I like you're going out to battle. Samurais are always like lone, all about pride and dying by the sword. And it was just a thing way for me where I was like, this is pure cool. And I just liked it. And then also, I always have a thing where like you're in the zone, but you're not fully switched on. And then when the mask goes on, it's a different like, okay, now it is time, we're walking into the ring, so just switch on type thing. So it's just as if that...
Because that's what I was going to ask. Did you feel that helps you kind of develop a persona? Or like when Deontay Wilder, I think he calls it, is it the Dark Destroyer or something?
Aye.
Is that his thing? It was Nigel Benz, that was his nickname. But Deontay Wilder get this thing where he puts on the big foot, the 30-pound cape or whatever the fuck it is that makes him lose fights. And he says, it's a fucking... It adopts the persona, and once you put it on, so you feel that's what it does for you. You can adopt that mantra right like, into battle. Because it reminds you where you are. It's like, see in acting, actors have got a thing called tics. So like kind of like method actors as such. Like they've got like a wee thing they'll do. It was like Christian Bale's in a film, and it might have been The Big Short, and his character, it might be The Big Short. It was something mad fucking film he was in. And I don't think it was a Big Short anyway. It was a film he was in, and his character always done that with his glasses. And it's called a tic because when you do that, it brings you back to that character you're playing. So you know what I'm talking about? So it's almost a kind of similar thing. So if I could ask, name one person above everybody, it doesn't need to be a boxer, anybody, that you'd want to batter in the ring, who would it be? Anybody.
Oh no, mate. This is... I swear to God, I went on another podcast interview type thing a wee while ago, and they asked me if you could batter any celebrity, what celebrity would you batter? And I swear to God, I couldn't even think of a celebrity. Never mind who I'd batter, like I just couldn't think of a celebrity.
I knew you were going to tell me you've thought of an answer. You're going to
I don't even know. Don't even know. Does it have to be a celebrity?
No, it could end. It could be your fucking old boss or something like that. Anybody?
Mate, this is a bad question to ask me. Like I says, I don't even like fighting. I don't even care that much. I wouldn't. But I don't know. I just love to whack.
Go on and give you a 24-second punch then, huh?
Honestly, can't I think who I'd like to just batter? Don't know.
I'm sure we'll come back to that question. I'm sure somebody will find
let you
themselves
down
in that pocket. So what has been the highlight of your career so far?
That is a tough one. Because obviously winning the British is a big, massive highlight of the career, but that last one there was live on telly, seen by everyone, like big talking point, like probably one of the ones you'll never do something like that again, first punch, you know what I mean? So it has to be that probably.
I know, you couldn't have performed in a better fashion, see, for the platform you were on. Like, going and knocking somebody out in 24 seconds, like, no, I mean, if anybody done that, like a heavyweight, a champion done that, or anybody, it'd be fucking everywhere.
That's the biggest thing ever since sliced bread.
That's what everybody wants today. Who doesn't want to go into a boxing match? No, I don't want to knock him out first punch off.
Nah, definitely.
It's like everybody would do it if they could. So it's a spectacular way to perform.
I was saying as well, like, I'm going to definitely do this guy. It's funny, like, because I've been a few fights, I've had a dream, like, either in the week before the fight or the day before the fight, I've had a dream about knocking the person out and how I would knock them out. This fight, I had a dream. I was like, I'm going to knock him out. Wasn't the right shot that knocked him out with, but I had a dream that I was going to knock him out, but with a one punch knockout. I was talking to somebody about it. Might have been Joe Jr. or Reagan or something, while we were out a walk, while we were down in London. I was like, I'm going to stop this guy. I've had a dream, I can feel it. Like, and they were like, nah, like, when have you ever knocked somebody out one punch? Which I don't. I always just, it's an accumulation of punches, or like the last guy I did knock him out with one punch or body shot, but I've never just chinned somebody to the head. And I was like, no, but I've got a feeling this time, and they're like, oh, whatever. And then the day before it, we're all sitting in the room. They're all on Sky Bet 365. They're like, wait, what are you going to do to him? When are you going to do it? Putting on bets on me. I'm like, mate, I'm sitting right here. I'm about to fight you. I'm not already nervous enough. And they're all putting heavy dough on me, man. I'm like, cool. And I was like, honestly, I'm going to knock him out. And they were like, right, cool, whatever. But the odds for me to knock him out to points was different. So somebody put on like a good few of them, bit of money on points, bit of money on like round 9, bit of money on this. And I was like, nah, there's going to just be an early round where I just catch him and that. But I never thought it would have been the first punch, but it was weird. Like I'd had a dream about it and stuff. So
did anybody put on money for the first round?
People all mailed me like, I've won a fortune on you. I was in Nando's. Yes, what day is it today? Was it Nando's 2 days ago for the weigh-in? Ricky Bunswell Lemond weigh-in, and the boys were weighing in, Josh and Jack and that. We went to Nando's, and one of these guys came up to me. He's like, mate, pure shake my hand. I won money on you. I won an absolute fortune on you, by the way. And I was like, oh, nice one, bro. Good. Like, but I'm still like that guy. That's what I was thinking. He's a tenner. I'm still like that kind of nervous way where I don't think I'm in, or I'll never think I'm anybody. I'm never above my pay grade, you know what I mean? Like, I fought on the Friday, done that, was down. It was a big deal to people, and I still don't think I'm a big deal to people. I think I'm just a guy doing what I like to do, and that's it. Humble. And then I go back to the gym on Monday. I'll do pads with the boys, train the boys how to box. Like, we've got a club and that. Like, I'm just back to just normal. Date on Monday, it's back to I'm sparring again on Monday, and just everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you back in the gym? You should be enjoying yourself. That was amazing. I'm like, no, this is what I like to do, to enjoy myself. I like to go into the gym. I'm sociable. I like to see people, and they're like, I can't believe you're in. Let's get a photo and all that. I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, you see me every week. I'm in all the time. You see me every week, and they're like, as if it was something different. But it's just people feel that way for you or about you, or like, can't believe that you're doing something. Not that they're not, but not that anybody they would ever know is doing. Like, so I was like, oft, and then people. It's just weird. I just feel weird about it, and I don't know how to react to it.
If you have any more performances like you did your last one, mate, I would get used to it.
I don't know if I'll ever get used to it or how to get used to it. Me and my missus and her dad went out for something to eat, and we were walking through town, and we went into Foot Asylum, and a wee guy stopped and asked me for a photo. And her dad was going like, what is going on here? Like, I can't believe that and everything. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, people are asking you for photos. And I was like, I know, but it's just obviously he must just be a wee boxer or into boxing or something. It's like, no, is that for my thing? He's like, no, you're a proper like celebrity.
He's not buzzing in you.
I don't know. I just didn't know. He couldn't believe it. It was just funny, but
I know, that's class, mate. That's the thing. But it's like you get that kind of reward side for it, because it's showing that kind of validation where people are seeing you perform well, and because you're Scottish as well, you're going down to England, you're on a lot of kind of, it's a worldwide platform. BT Sports is watched all over the world. It's massive, and to go out and win in the fashion that you did, obviously you've got the belt sitting next to you. You're showing people for Scotland that, not, I mean, we can do well. That's what a lot of people find. It's like a lot of people see, because Scotland's such a small country, and we get told, you can't do this, you can't do that. You just get pure, as you say, you get that discrimination kind of thing. So when somebody starts doing well, it's like a kind of hometown nation, fucking pride nation behind you. It's actually mental, because it's been so different. Like, when I first started, it was so hard to get people behind me. And then I started getting a bit better, got the Commonwealth, and I thought, oh, people definitely get on board with it now. Like, I'll have a big following, so on and so forth. And then it was still hard to get people behind me. And people are like, we love what you're doing. And they say the words, they don't show the actions. They're not going to buy a ticket, they're not going to hang you, like, they're not going to get out their house to come see you type thing. So then I was still struggling, and then I've honestly found it so hard, because I'm out here saying to all these English people and promoters and blah blah blah, like, you just don't give Scotland a chance, you just don't give us a chance. And I feel like people in Scotland aren't giving themselves a chance, because promoters and stuff would come to Scotland if the people from Scotland turned up and showed up, and they were like, after that fight there, everybody wanted to message me like, oh, proud of you, brother, proud of you, you're doing this and that for us. And I'm like, mate, you've never messaged me in your life, I don't know you, where were you 5 or fights ago, or maybe you've just heard of me, that's fine, but you're acting as if you know me, or you're acting as if you
like, you've known me for 3 fights now. Like, you've never bought a ticket or said you're going to buy a ticket. You know what I mean? So, and that's not me being like, okay, I don't want your support now. I do want your support, but you need to get behind your own type thing. Like,
Aye.
how you can't expect people to come up to Scotland and shows to come back to Scotland, but you wouldn't buy a ticket. But when they come up here, you're like, oh, I'm major proud that Nathaniel's bringing shows to Scotland. Well, turn up, buy the ticket. See, it's like when your pal's got a business and you don't go, but you're like, proud of you get your business and that, but I'm going to go to so-and-so for my shit instead of...
Aye, no, 100%, 100%, and it's that thing as well. It's like, it's try to jump on the hot ticket and that kind of thing.
Aye.
Not saying that of you,
Aye,
but that kind of euphemism, know what I mean?
Aye.
But it's where, because you've been on BT Sport, you won the fashion, you done it, so everybody's about to get
Aye,
on board.
get
But
on
as you
board.
say, where were these people before? Like, I've been performing well for X amount of years.
100%.
So I can
100%.
imagine there is a part of you that feels like that.
It's like, I have been performing. I said this to whoever I was talking to about it. I was like, I've been performing. It's not as if this has just happened. I've been performing. I've performed every fight. I've trained the same every fight, and I've performed the same every fight. And I get it. Like, I'm no nobody the now, and I'm just small. So you might only have just been hearing about me, and that's fine. That's fine. But if you've just heard about me and you want to jump on the bandwagon, but fully jump on the bandwagon with follow me, share my stuff, share my posts. Let's bring them up to Scotland, because Frank one's not looking at us thinking, okay, he's only got 5,000 followers, so I can't bring a show to the Hydro because the max that's turning up's 5,000, or you know what I mean? So it's like, you need the people to just fully, like, either if you hate me or love me, whatever, buy a ticket, tune in, get on board, share the stuff, you know, because that's the only way it happens. And I always think about Ricky Burns, man. I remember being a young guy, and you go to Ricky Burns shows, and they were packed to the brim, and then everybody would be at the bar till Ricky came on, and that's cool. But it's like everybody was there for Ricky, and it was big massive nights, and I always remember it, and like all the young boxers will always remember. Same as like, we've not had the chance to do that with Josh Taylor because he's been fighting away. But there's a chance here that we could come back up and do something, and Scottish people will get the recognition, and the other Scottish boxers can get on these shows, you know.
100%. Do you think it's a lot? It's to do with, see, some fighters they say that thing like an overnight success happened after 10 years of hard work. Like the likes of people are just kind of starting to notice you now. You've put in all these years of hard work, but you find that with a lot of people, it's like maybe you look at, like, I don't know, like in England maybe it's different where they'll try and give people a certain push. But do you think you're just finally getting your recognition? Like at that point, it's just the beginning of it. Whereas, did Ricky Burns always have that recognition, or was it when he became a world champion and that's when they started getting this nation behind him?
Valid question, and I don't know, but he probably. I don't know. I was maybe too young, but I always just remember him being about. But
I can see, to be honest, he was always like a pure. I always remember I didn't watch many of his fights, but I always knew him. He was like a public personality.
He was just a public. That's it, and it's like, I don't know. But to me, even like, not even just talking about Joe Bloggs off the street, but I came up the road. I've got this achievement. Done it in dramatic fashion. Nobody else in Scotland's on the platform I'm on doing what I'm doing now, and like, I never really get a call for the papers. I never get BBC or STV or any news outlet saying, oh, do you want to come and talk about this, or we'll put a wee bit of this on the news for you, or any radio or anybody. So it's not just as if Joe Bloggs hasn't done it. It's like nobody's covering it, nobody cares, like, and it's still that chip on my shoulder, like,
no, it can be. I imagine
what's happening here.
I imagine it's frustrating because you put in all the years of work, and especially, and you're performing really well. It's like, surely, like, right, what the fuck, do you no notice this shit?
Aye.
But I would feel the exact same. I do feel the exact same you, and I've not even accomplished anything near what you've accomplished. But what's Premeditated Patter? I remember that. When you're famous, when you get the world title. Shout out Premeditated Patter, know what I'm talking about. So right, for now on, have you got your next fight booked yet? You get your next opponent in sight?
Just waiting on TNT giving dates at the moment. I don't know how it works. I think they book out a certain amount of dates to a certain date, and then after that they need to book out other ones, and so they'll come up with a list of dates and send it to Sam. Sam will send it to me, and then they'll pick an opponent and whatnot. I want to fight for the European title next, but I don't know how it works. I don't know if you need to pay for something to come over, be a mandatory, what the script is. So just see what the next move is, really. I don't really care. I'll fight anybody.
Just take whoever's in front of you.
Aye.
Who holds the European title currently?
An Italian guy, just a mad random Italian guy. He's pretty strong, pretty good. Would be a big step up and a big test. So it's one of the ones that you beat him, people start seeing, right, your world level.
Aye. That's when it starts going global.
Aye.
As such, 100%. And hopefully it's not too far after horizon for you, because surely there's got to be a promoter that's got fucking pound signs in his eyes after that last knockout.
Aye.
Because that's a lot of them do. Look at, and which is fair enough. You're running a business. You need to pay fighters. You need to put arses in seats. So
Aye.
it's a shame you see a lot of fighters because they sell tickets, and it's not a shame. It's good for them, but
Aye.
it's a shame the people with the talent like yourself, they're not getting the same opportunities just purely because a ticket
Aye,
sells.
ticket
But that's
sales.
just the way the world is now, innit? It's
Well,
like,
it's good because obviously I'm signed now to Frank Warren in Queensbury, so after Ian doesn't normally get up and get involved with the fighters, apart from like he was involved with Daniel Dubois there for the Usyk fight, and he's involved with Big Fury and stuff, so that's when he gets in the camera and stuff, but he doesn't normally get up. So after that one, he came round and he was in my interview and talking, and like hopefully he's seen the pound signs there where like we've got a market in Scotland here we can tap into. So I just said to him, like, get shows up to Scotland, bring them. So hopefully they take it on board.
because it might be the start of that thing where the shows start in Scotland. You see Scotland really getting behind its fighters, and then it gives people that inspiration, like young people, wait, I can actually do this. Like, that way we'll actually support each other, because in Scotland it's a pure negative attitude. You try and pursue something you're passionate about, you laughed at, can I do that and all that shit. It's just this pure negative shite mentality for the most part, man. It's terrible. For such a small country, man, and small, but there's fucking about 5 million people in Scotland or something.
Definitely.
A fucking lot of people to get behind you.
100%.
We're the only people in the world that understand each other. Know what I'm talking about?
I know.
You know yourself going out of the world trying to talk Australian. I can't just look at you like you're speaking alien, man. And you kind of are, the way we speak. Like, I think about it every time I open my mouth. I'm like, how did that even become, for the English translation to this? How the fuck did that occur? But I love it, man. I love the individuality, the uniqueness of it. Know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
So what's the plans for now then, and up until the fight? What is it? You've got your own gym and that, haven't you? So
Aye.
is it just in the PT stuff? See, after a fight, what do you do? Do you chill out, or do you just get right back to it?
It's one of the ones, like, just before I used to be right back on it and heavy, no chill, no nothing. Now that I've got a wee family and my daughter and stuff, I've kind of like eased off. Like, I would normally be in the gym, back doing all the classes, doing PTs. I've got a good group of boys in there that deal with everything now, so I've not got like hundreds of stress to get back in and start doing stuff. And I like the odd 1-to-1 here and there, and surprisingly there's no like that much demand to come in and train with me, which I'm not bothered about, because I've got the people that like know me and like and want to come in and do a bit, and it's good and it's easy going. So I'm like, it's no stress. I'm going to Israel next Saturday, of all places.
Now, what's happening in Israel?
Randomly, one of my mates, he's Israeli, he's getting married.
Oh, is he? Oh, nice.
Went to school with him, and you have to do national service to be Israeli, keep your Israeli citizenship. So you have to go and join the army. 3 years. So he moved and never came back, but he's came back a few times to see the baby and that. So we got an invite, and me and my missus have never been on holiday together. I've not been on holiday since before COVID. So I just thought, you know what, I've had this fight, I'll book it, see where it goes, and go and have a holiday. So we're taking the wee one away. I'm nervous because I've not been on a holiday in ages. I'm more nervous for that.
Definitely, it's not as if you're going to fucking Tenerife or nothing. I go to Israel. I don't know many people would go to Israel with the kind of what the tourist fucking economy's like, man.
It's mental, because I was messaging, like, what's it like, kind of thing, and I was like, because in my head I just thought it would be dusty, like a mad dusty old Bible city. That's what you would think, mate. See, if you Google Tel Aviv, where we're going, it's one of the most modern cities, like legit one of the most modern cities in the world, and it's like a pure tourist destination, and it's all skyscrapers and
but I've never actually, it's because like, everybody just goes to the same Dubai, Ibiza, fucking Amsterdam. It's like nobody about Israel. These are the kind of places, are the best ones to go. It's these kind of fucking unknown spots, but you say unknown, it's probably very popular, but what Glaswegians? I don't know, does a lot of Glaswegians go there?
I doubt it. Everybody just it's mental into it. Everyone I'm saying is like, fuck you going there for? I'm like, don't know, just
Can you see to Israel? I was like, right, is he going on a fucking pilgrimage or something?
Aye, going to refine my religious beginnings. Aye,
man.
so I'm looking forward to that. It's the first holiday in a while. It'll be a good kind of time to just take off a bit of heat and stress and whatever. And like I don't get to spend that much time with my family in camp. So this wee period here, we've been out doing holiday shopping together, taking the Wayne out, going wee walks, and it's just something different. I think people don't realise that. They're just like, oh, you're always in the house, you're always doing this and you're always doing that. And I'm like, no, I don't see the Wayne. Anna deals with the Wayne all the time. Like, she had the baby and I was in camp for 4 weeks. I never seen the Wayne for the first month of her life type thing, you know what I mean? So it's just all day. Like, I'll get to see her in the morning, I'll get to see her at night, and then anything in between's a bonus, and then that's in camp, and then now it's just like a lot of family time stuff.
Because people don't realise that side of it. When you're in camp, there's a lot of sacrifice, and especially family time's like a big one, and people need to be patient, like especially obviously your missus and that. They need to kind of understand that's what it takes. And it's a big thing with distraction, because becoming a dad, I'm not a dad at all, but I hear it humbles people, and you need to go into a fight, you need to begin with that killing instinct, and you've got your wee one there and that kind of thing. It's kind of, would it think it feels if it would soften you up a bit too much if
I don't know, it's just
fight before too close.
See, to be fair, like somebody asked me when we first had the baby, has this changed everything? And I was like, no, really, she doesn't do anything. She's like a wee potato. She's just lying there, man. Like, so I wasn't like, and then see now that she's a couple of months in, she started getting a character, a personality, and now she's crawling about and saying dada and hanging. I'm like, oh man, I'm killing people for this. Like, so I think it's the opposite of making me softer. It's like I've got something to fight for. Like, I want to just pay my house off, make sure her life's easy, but because I never had it. Like, we moved to, everyone else thinks, oh, you're for Bearsden, you must have been minted, this and that. We never had. We moved, my mum and dad done up houses and then spent all the money getting to Bearsden and then never had any money. So I was like, the Jake of Bearsden. No, the Jake of Bearsden. That's a lie, but you know what I mean? Title. Like, it wasn't like,
imagine that was your Nathaniel, the Jake of Bearsden Collins.
No, like that, but no, like everybody else in Bearsden's are loaded.
I know. It's
my mum and dad moved there to get the best education type thing, so it wasn't like we went up there and we've got all sorts of money. I was always struggling to get by type thing. Like, everybody got everything they needed type, but I've got a wee brother and sister, so it was all about them getting what they needed and so on and so forth. And I was a man at the point, so it's make your own ways, you know what I mean? So it was like, I've never had money, so I want to make sure like I can pay my house off quick, get the baby the easiest life she can have. Like, don't worry about bills, don't worry about this. You know, you're cool. The stress isn't there, and we can just focus all our time on you growing up, you know?
100%, because it removes the burdens a lot of people find in early parenthood, because you've got another mouth to feed, and you've got so many bills and that kind of thing. You find a lot of people like that, right, who just need to knuckle down and get it paid. So see, if you can remove the burden of paying off a house, then you've got a solid base. You're never going to go homeless.
Aye.
That's one thing, and the wee one is going to have something like a place to call home forever. So it's doing that, and it's good. It's having responsibility as well, to that point where you're responsible for a life other than your own. It makes you realise, right, what's important, what do I need to focus on? And it's probably the perfect thing you need at this point in your career, because although you've achieved quite a lot, there's still so much more you want to achieve. So you're at that point, right, it's giving you extra motivation.
Aye. It's funny, because last time I was like, I've been boxing for 12 years nearly, you know what I mean? So last fight, I was finding it hard to be motivated, or to think like, mate, I've been doing this for so long, I can't be arsed anymore. It's so hard. Like, it's just hard.
Aye.
And I'm like, I'm just, this is a pain in the arse. And then obviously you go in, and when you're weighed in and everything, you feel different, but for the whole time you're just like, man, this has been a long road, this is a hard road. Like, is it going to get easier? Is it going to get easier? What am I doing this for? Type thing. And then when you go and have a performance like that, it changes your mindset again. But I was needing that, plus external motivation to just keep me going, because I was just like, you as well just chucking this. But you know what I mean? Stupid thoughts. You get stupid thoughts, but you're just like, you as well just chucking this. But It's funny.
And then the wee one comes along and gives you that newfound inspiration.
Aye, definitely.
Funny how
So,
life works that way, innit?
aye, it's good. It's good. It's just, you can't explain it, and you never will be able to explain it, but it's just, there's other things there, and other, like, I don't want my missus to work. I just don't want her to work. I want her to have as much time with the wee one. Like, she's supported me so much in my camps, like, dinners there when I come in, washing. I've got hundreds and hundreds of washings, always washed, everything's piled up, sorted, folded, there you go, that's your clothes for the morrow, that's this for the morrow. Or the wee one's crying, I'll take her away so you can get asleep, blah 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 blah. Like, I could never ask somebody to do that, and she just does it. Even when, like, before we had the baby, she would get me up in the morning, right, we're going running, I'm going to cycle with you while you're running. So, like, she's
really?
mega, like,
that's mega,
like, that was mega a big part of her stuff when, before the baby came along. The baby came along, it changed everything, and then she's just managed to be just good with things. Like, she's like, oh, I've bought the baby a wee thing that she can go on the bike, so me and her will go on the bike and you can run and stuff, and we'll just come out, and it's like pure nothing phases her. And obviously I'm annoying, so she gets raging sometimes, or I just do stupid stuff, but it's like, I always work and feel like, right, I need to train hard because she's doing this for me, so I wouldn't be letting myself down. I'd be letting her down if I'd be letting people down if you don't go out and continue performing and continue doing this and that. You know what I mean? Whereas sometimes people think, oh, you got a bird and a wing, and that's pure distractions, but isn't it? It's just more fire. It's just more fire, more fuel to the fire, you know?
That's brilliant, man. That's amazing. It's really great at this point that you've got something like that to kind of propel you towards further greatness. So, when you eventually do hang up the gloves, what do you want to achieve in boxing?
I know this is going to sound funny because everyone always goes, oh, world champion, this and that. Honestly, see if I made enough money to just pay my house off or buy a better house and a wee bit of land, and just, I knew that I was going to live comfortably, I'd probably hang the gloves up, like, after a loss. Because to me, it's not about world titles. To me, it's about securing my future. The best way to secure your future is be a world champion. But if I was going to go, if I get 3 or 4 fights down the line and I was financially secure, and then on my 5th fight I get chinned, I'd just hang it up.
Really? Huh?
Aye, just hang it up. Because one, I don't want any of my family, my mum, my dad, my missus, to see me getting knocked out or chinned or hurt dramatically. So if that ever happened, I would seriously question if I'd box again. And 2, I want to have my facilities and faculties intact for the rest of my life, you know what I mean? So why fight on further than you need to fight on?
Aye, no, totally, man, because you see a lot of people that fight on past that point and it becomes the point of no return. It's like, it can become life-changing. See, if you get that point, because when people get knocked out and fucking touch wood, that doesn't happen to you, but you see people get knocked out, they're more prone to it, and you see people, they get that kind of, they freeze, like Tyrone Woodley. He started becoming, like, he was a great fighter, then it's like something in him died after getting, like, when you get knocked out, it's just like, that fear, because it's like, I can get fucking knocked here, I can get knocked out. And
it's happened frequently recently, like, with loads of boxers getting chinned, sleeping, and then next time they come in and it should be a winnable fight, or they should have at least a good competitive fight, and they get chinned again, and you're like, I don't know, I don't want to get chinned once, never mind. I don't think I'll ever get chinned. Touch wood, that never happens to me, like you said. Thank God, I've been hit with some clean shots, and I've never wobbled, never nothing, like, never been troubled, so I know I've got a rock solid chin, but anything can happen in this, and I said that to my missus. I says, I'm getting to a level now, anything could happen, so just be prepared that you might see me get slapped once. She's like, what the fuck? But it could happen to anybody.
No, definitely. Some of the best in the world have been fucking knocked out and came back for it, but it's funny you say that. It's like the biggest thing, isn't it, the accolades, because you always find that with boxers. It is that case.
Boxers think that they need to have this thing where they're like, oh, I've dreamt about nothing other than being world champion. Why? Who gives a shit? You get people who have never achieved world champion who are financially secure, might not be millionaires, but get paid 500 grand or 900 grand or whatever for a fight, and then they've managed to buy themselves a house outright or build themselves a house on a bit of land, start a business, and then the rest of their life they're set because they've started their own business, they've invested cleverly, and then the family's life, they're paid off. Like, the Waynes can do whatever they want anyway, and it's not through boxing, it's through whatever you've invested in out with that. But I think a lot of boxers are not switched on enough to think, okay, I can invest after boxing, or as soon as they get the money, because they've never had it, they just spunk it right away type thing. So I'm pretty clear, and it's not me saying that, okay, tomorrow I'm going to have a super fight and I make £1 million and I win it. Obviously I'm not hanging up the gloves because I've won it. I'm financially secure, but it's at that point it's not about financial security. At that point, maybe then my answer changes to, okay, my house is paid off, everybody's cool, everybody's looked after for the next 5 years. Okay, now it's about being a world champion. Know what I mean? But just the world champion thing, people say that because being a world champion comes with money.
I suppose it's synonymous, isn't it? Like, you're a world champion. Imagine that you have made it in both respects.
Aye. If somebody turned around to you tomorrow and said, right, you can be a world champion and I'll pay you 500 grand, or you can fight Jake Paul and I'll pay you 5 million. You're fighting Jake Paul.
Aye.
Fuck the world title.
Aye, I know. It's the 5 million, because you can go and get the 5 million and go and get the world title.
100%.
But you can't go and get the world. You might not be able to get the world title and go fight Jake Paul. Probably could, but
aye,
it's like one opportunity you're like, right, one's always maybe going to be there if I'm still performing.
Definitely.
Totally, man. Would you take the Jake Paul fight?
Aye.
Would you batter him?
Shite. Aye,
really?
Yeah, I'd batter him.
I wonder if that's him hung up the gloves, because it was fucking Nate Diaz did fucking give him a good fight, man. But I wonder who's. I don't really fucking. I pure like, what a shite, this and that, then I go and watch it.
Aye,
I just go on to see it, but it's like, I think with the fights, they're all exhibitions, they're not looking to fucking knock each other out. Aye. Maybe if one happens, maybe, but I don't think they're fucking. It was like the Mayweather and McGregor fighting. They talk about it as if it's like this, the clash of the fucking titans. You're like,
aye.
It's a fucking pair of YouTubers, man. Fuck up.
Aye.
Get a grip.
Even the Mayweather-McGregor one, everyone always goes, aye, McGregor took him 10 rounds and done this and that. And you're like, Mayweather could have stopped him at any point he wanted to, you know what I mean? If he wanted to do it, they done it for the money, let it continue.
Aye, because they're giving people their money's worth, know what I mean? And people only got to pay all that money, then he fucking does him in the first round.
Aye.
So could have easily done it, man. But anyway, man, it's been an absolute beautiful podcast. I've really enjoyed it with you, man.
Thank you. Something a bit different, eh?
I know, it's very different, mate. And the fact you broke the belts, it was my request that you broke the belts, in case anybody's wondering if you kick about with 2 suitcases and with fucking belts. No, I mean, came down to Govan with them, man. That's a fucking brave guy. But I know, mate, I really look forward to seeing what happens next with your career, man. And I thank you for joining us in the Premeditated Patter Poofy. But anyway, Nathaniel Collins, people get behind him, support the man, like, subscribe, and don't get wide. Catches.